嘘だ。いやいや、セミだ。ちゃうぞ。カブトゼミだ。ワンちゃん、いやワンガルー。ペリカン、いやペリギン。かっこいいんだから。タカトクトイスのいただきメカ新発売。
ブルマークの怪獣ボーリングゲーム。狙いもピンセットも一人で OK だよ。ブルマークの怪獣ボーリングゲーム。
Today on Collectible Monsters, prepare to have your wallets blown as we unpack the deluge of Kaiju collectible news and more. Ikimashou!
And hello and welcome to episode, I think this is going to be episode 7 of Collect All Monsters. Last month's episode, I don't think that really counts as a full Collect All Monsters experience, so that's a special episode, and this is episode 7. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about just a ton of news. I would like to welcome everybody who's watching to the screen. Thank you for being here. And start by welcoming my co-hosts, starting with this guy here, Leslie Chambers. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on? It's been feel like forever since we've been together.
It feels like it.
And yeah, it has. But, you know, we're back, ready to give you all a great show. Before I kick it over to my awesome brother from Seattle, David Eric Dopko, want to just talk about a few things about myself and what I've gotten since the last time we've seen each other. First and foremost, North Carolina weather is so topsy-turvy. Like just last week alone, we got hit with the earthquake and a hurricane. So me being a Kaiju fan, I'm wondering if there's something out there in the ocean about to come in and tear us up. But aside from that, everything is going great. So I got a few things since the last time that we've seen each other. I got a few figures, and I got a mask, awesome mask that you'll see. And I'm gonna start off with some books. I want to give a huge shout out to Jay Davies out in Japan. What's up, man? What's going on? And he got me a few of these Godzilla Toho special effects authentic books that you can get from the Godzilla store. Got the Godzilla 2002 that just came out last month.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome book. Also, I got the Curious 2002. Now, this book came out a long time ago, but I got it just to go with Godzilla. This one came out along with Godzilla 2002 last month. Destroyer.
Awesome, yeah.
So that's an awesome book. And also, I think this came out in June. 1994 Godzilla from Godzilla Space Godzilla. Awesome book. And David, I know you're going to love this one. Yeah.
That's my he's no longer a boy.
Yes. So yeah, this is awesome. So yeah, thank you, Jay Davies, for these books. I really do appreciate it. As a matter of fact, my next video involving these books, I'm going to tackle the Frankenstein book as well as the Gargantuous. So look for that coming out real soon. Now, figure wise. Let's start with I'm gonna wait for that. Let's start with this guy right here.
Can the chat room break out into song all at once? Is that doable?
I got the X Plus Death for Real Rick exclusive edition of the 1974 King Caesar, not the dilapidated burlap rug from Final Wars, but the real deal, the real King Caesar. Such an awesome Death for Real, such an awesome figure. You know, makes me real anxious for the other two that are coming. More on that later on. But yes, this is an awesome figure to have. So trust me, if you're a King Caesar fan, you have to have this in your collection, whether it's the standard or the Rick. I prefer the Rick because, you know, of his ears being all perked up or whatever. But this is awesome right here. Let's see. Let's go with another X Plus. The X Plus 30 centimeter Rick exclusive edition of the '93 Godzilla, or the Glitter Godzilla, or the Disco Godzilla, whatever you want to call it. Once again, a great figure, despite the mixed bag of reactions that this guy has been getting. If you're not a fan of the glitter, that's fine. But I think it's a figure that you really have to have in person to really understand its greatness. You know what I'm saying? But for those who order the standard, don't be alarmed, because I think the standards are dropping real soon. More on that later on. But for right now, this is an awesome piece. The '93 Godzilla. It really is an awesome piece. An awesome Rick feature too with the glitter. And no glitter on my hand. See, no glitter on my hand.
Leslie, I gotta say, like, just you holding him up in front of the camera, he looks great. Like a great release. Yeah.
He is. But I know that the glitter is like a source of contention with a lot of people. But trust me, this is one of those figures that you really have to have in your hand to really understand, because pictures don't do it justice. And the glitter effect is awesome. Once you put them with Super Mechagodzilla and Fire Rodan, you have a great figure on your hands. And last, and certainly but not least, everybody knows I'm a King Kong fan, and we all know he's going to win. You know how to get that one in. But
Leslie, you're about to have some technical difficulties here.
Oh, we got Kong haters. We got some Kong haters in here. Okay, it's all right. Okay, people hate on winners anyway. But anyway, Steve Serajoli, want to give a huge shout out to him. Steve Serajoli, I want to thank you so much. I got this guy yesterday. It's the Roto Kaiju model kit of the 1967 King Kong, or a giant gorilla. So yeah, Steve Serajoli had an extra copy that he really didn't want to have, or didn't really feel the need to keep. And I struck a deal with him, and he painted and he built it for me. So I have basically 2 Steve Serajoli pieces in my collection. This one, as well as the Gamera, there was also a collaboration with my awesome co-host David F. Dopko. So those 2 awesome pieces are never leaving my collection. I don't care if I'm going to be bankrupt or whatever. I'm not selling these 2 for any circumstances, because they were both made by awesome. Well, at least the Gamera. They were made by awesome people. By that I call my friends. I love them to death. So yes, love King Kong. Look at that face. The face that only Susan Watson could love, or not so really. And last but not least, okay, I'm almost done. Want to give a huge shout out. I know she's listening downstairs. Hey, babe. Hey. I want to give you a shout out to my awesome wife, Sandra. You know, we're in a period in our times, ladies and gentlemen, with social distancing, and people had to wear a mask. And she felt that I needed to have a special mask. So, Kyle, give me a close-up on this one right here.
You better believe it, buddy.
There you go. So as you can see, I'm official. Leslie Chambers. Leslie Chambers. I do review. So I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Sandra for getting this mask for me. I feel so official. I really am. I love you. Thank you so much. So that's what I got. So without further ado, I'm gonna kick it over down to my awesome brother, my co-host, all the way up in Seattle, Washington, the great David Arab Dopko.
Hey, everybody. Thanks,
What's
Leslie.
up?
Thanks for tuning in today, and we look forward to bringing you another fun show. So we started off with weather reports. So Northwest has been spared from the heat this summer until tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're supposed to get up to 93. And I know a lot of you are saying that's not so bad, but we do not have air conditioning. So it's going to be bad, and it's going to last for a couple of days. So 93 in Seattle is no fun. So, okay, that's out of the way. So I did get a couple of cool things. I'll start with this guy, the little Yamomark Gezura, pink, glow in the dark Gezura. Got him on Mandarake for $40, not including shipping, but really good price. And I love these guys because they're really detailed yet super stylized, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And they're small, but they pack a punch. And I think you get more bang for your buck than U.S. toys, which I also love. But I think these are a little bit better value for your dollar. So got this guy, very happy to have him. And then I got something that's just a little bit bigger. I've got straight from the coal mines of Kitamatsu, the dragonfly larva Meganeuron, Showa Meganeuron. And this is actually an older piece by X Plus. And I've learned that Mr. G. Okamoto, this is one of the first projects that he worked on for X Plus. So I definitely have to send him a photo of this guy. and I'm really happy to have him. I've wanted him for a really long time. They had one on display at Kimono My House in Emeryville in California, and I used to see it on the shelf, and I always, thought about buying him, but it was kind of expensive for, I didn't have a lot of money back then, and I just bided my time. And my friend Paul Costa actually heard us talk about this with Robert Dwyer on the X Plus release night, late night video, and I mentioned how much I wanted one, and he private messaged me and said he had one for sale, and we made a deal. Going to do a little bit of painting for him when the next Kong comes out. So we got a good deal on him, and here he is. He's in my collection.
Fantastic.
So there's that. So I think that's pretty much all I got. But Kyle, if you want to set up the photo, I did finish a very special model kit that we talked about several months ago. The quintessential Godzilla 1964, and it's from KOC, sculpted by Akira Ibaraki. It is a resin cast 40 centimeter model kit that is put together with pins and magnets. Beautiful. And it is just one of the most impressive pieces that I have ever seen. And, I'm not one to sort of like pat myself on the back for my model building, but I got to say I'm pretty proud of this one. And I do have 2 more to build for AJ Russo and Mr. Fresh Vinyl himself, Rich Iso. And after a little bit of a hiatus or sabbatical, I'm gonna take before I tackle the next one. But I've got all the paints ready to go for the next one. So that is all that I have got. But I do have a shout out to AJ Russo from Kaiju Live. He and I are going to do a deep dive talk about Bandai figures, new versus old. And we're not sure when that's going to happen, within the next week or so. So please look forward to that chat, and we hope that you can join us for it. And that's about all I have to say. How about you?
Wait. Hold on a second. I see what's going on here. AJ, you can't poach my co-hosts.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding. Sorry to interrupt, John.
No, that's okay. It should be fun, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Bandai and how for me personally, how Bandai invigorated my collecting career back in the late '80s. So, awesome. Take it away, John Ruffin. That side.
Okay, just pass it with the Bolton.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, John and I, we are Bolton twins today. Cool unicorn shirts. $7 change.
$7, yes. Like this was a wonderful gift from my brother, which I appreciated. It's great to be here, despite all the things around us. It's wonderful to be with friends, especially our show, and with everyone that's watching. David, it'd be cool to have G-San sign your figure.
Oh my God, it really would. That's it'd have to be somewhere where we can meet in the States, because I'm not carrying that to Japan, or I'm not shipping. Right. That, or at least the box or the instructions. Right. Something.
Exactly.
Did it come with the base or no?
No base, but it comes with the box. Is actually
box is nice.
The hard thing about these figures these days is the box. It's hard to find the box intact, and this box is perfectly intact. And it does come with a cool little fluorescent green instruction sheet, because you do have to attach the bottom legs. So I think, and there's a little image of him on there. So I think I may send that to G-San to sign for me. So awesome. That's a great idea. Thanks for that.
Well, if we're doing weather. We went from 90 degree, I don't know, it might have been 21 straight days of 90 degree weather here in Philly. Now it's like in monsoon season. We've had a couple tornado watches. We've had the tropical storm. It's just been crazy. We lost some of our supermarkets and gas stations, got flooded out. So it's been a little crazy. It's just everything just changed this summer. But it's been a wonderful time for collecting. I really appreciate the post office and all that they do for us. Even in all this time, the deliveries have been just wonderful, and I appreciate, because it's being inside has been made better by deliveries. And for me, it's been like book days. I've been dazed by books. So I just have a few books to share. This one is 99 Mysteries About the Big G, which is really cool. Got quite a few here. Another one, Godzilla versus Mothra, 92. Another
is that
great
a manga?
Book. No, this one's pretty cool, because it just goes into details about the film. And
cool.
And I got these for like $3. This was $3.
That's
So
fantastic.
this one, Godzilla Dies. So it's from 1995, and it's just makes for good reading. Work on my Japanese. Another great little Showa book. And it's just great details about each kaiju and all from the Showa era. Another book by Shugaku-kan. Just another one for my series and collection. Cool book, SFX on Godzilla 1984.
I remember that book.
Details, yes. I always wanted this, thought I had it. I think I got it from, all these are from Mandarake. Got this for like $7. So you can rack them up. Get a box load, and the shipping is only about $23. You can get a box load of books for about $50. And another one. And I'm not going to show all the books that I did get, but that was my last box. And like, now I got a couple more things. And like you, Leslie, you gotta have it. And most importantly, because I missed out on the awesome KC statue years ago when it was released with the the larger figure, but just to finally have the statue or some representation of it. And David and I were talking about how we need a wonderful X Plus release of just the Rick figures, and the King Caesar statue is like a must to have, the bigger, more accurate one. But this is wonderful. And lastly, Ken had a dream, and I did too.
Oh, yes.
And I saw it and couldn't pass up on it.
Awesome.
The
awesome
Bullmark, giant Godzilla 1970 figure.
Fantastic.
So there's some things that, Superman beats the ball, but not this one. So this is, I have, the older Bandais, but no real, nothing of this caliber. So I'm just grateful to have this to make these days a little bit nicer.
That's so cool. Straight from the sliding board to your home.
Yes. I mean, his markings, it looks like he's at the bottom of the slide. But everything is like spot on,
Awesome.
And I purchased this from, my brain dead. Sean.
Sean Lincolnback from Showcase?
Yeah, Lincolnback.
Kaiju?
Yes, that's it. Kaiju Showcase. So I was grateful to see it there. Wasn't going to leave it. Wasn't going to let it go. For years, I wanted that. Ever since I saw Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. Now, my days have been wonderful. Kyle, what have you been doing? What have you been collecting?
Oh, well, I actually... I have a whole bunch of stuff, a mess of stuff on waiting for me in Japan, just waiting for one final shipment to get added to that box before coming over. And I thought I could be patient, but I couldn't be patient, and I ended up ordering some stuff from Mandarake. And I got some deals, my friends. I got some deals because this beautiful Bullmark Gomez figure.
Oh, beautiful color.
That's awesome.
Black and white, really, really beautiful. Nicely. I know he's looking a little blue in the screen, but it's really nicely black and white painted. And then because I am a Gomez fan, a huge nerd for Gomez, this bear model Gomez, almost in the exact same sculpt, which there's an interesting story about that kind of stuff coming out in a future interview with Eiji Kaminaga from Marusan that I did a couple of weeks ago. So
fantastic.
That's exciting.
Keep on the lookout for that, guys. So yeah, this little dude from Bear Model, and then I got a B Club reissue of the Bullmark Rodan as well, which is really he's one of those sculpts that it's taken me a while to appreciate it, and it really wasn't until the last year or two that I started looking at this guy going you're handsome. You're a handsome devil. You need to be in my collection. So I got those things. Also, Neo Ultra Q just came out on Blu-ray. That showed up in my inbox this week. And we'll talk about another thing that I got a little bit later as well. Now, if you have noticed, if you're watching and you normally watch us and you're like, something's missing, you'll clearly note that our co-host Christine is not around. And unfortunately, she cannot be with us here today. And the reason is because she is currently ziplining into Godzilla's mouth on Awaji Island for the new Godzilla Museum and theme park. That's not really true, but, she can't be here to counter that. So I'm sure she'll be back in no time at all with us. But basically... we're unfortunately going to have Christine here. It's just going to be the bros here today. And we're going to continue on, I just wanted to say before we move on, thank you to everybody out there for coming to Kaiju Con Line, for attending and being part of it. Not just the people who watched our episode, but the people who came out and watched the whole thing. There were some people whose names I saw in the chat room all weekend long and like all of that stuff. So I was really, really happy with how it turned out. And I think it turned out so well that we're probably going to do a Kaiju Con Line version 2 later on in the year or early spring next year, something like that. So we'll figure out how that goes. But thank you again to everybody for coming out for that. And thank you as well to everybody for their patience, because last time I was supposed to have our Kaiju selfies happen, for the last episode. We were supposed to have a really cool monster showcase with the Kaiju selfies. And I figured this would be the perfect time to share that right now, even though it's the following episode, because I did actually want to do something way cooler than what ended up happening. And so we'll just do that right now. Can you guys hear the music?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I love the name tag style. Perfect.
Way to go, viewers.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. Now I feel much less guilty about that last month.
The
Hey,
name tags were perfect. They were worth the wait.
right? That's what I was thinking.
Totally worth
the
the
wait. Totally worth the wait. Oh, well, hey, Leslie, this would be a great time for us to say thank you to everybody watching live. We are currently broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. We got about 43 people watching us at the moment. Scrolling back through the chat, I'm going to say, look, Lolo's there. She's watching live. Your wife, Sandra's watching, man.
Of
Gojira, Gojira 851, Devagochi, Tim Outen, over 9K. Who else? Godzilla Train 1090. Pick it up here, Leslie.
Paul Costa, Eric Stope, over 9K as always. Kaiju Battle, what's up, Michael? Alteron Kaiju. I'm so sorry, I butchered that every single time. I'm gonna get it right one of these days. Let's see
You gotta
who
say
else.
it with gusto. Altiron Kaiju.
Thank you.
I think. I
Frank,
don't know if that's right.
Frank, Jimmy, 90. Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick it up. Kaiju Sommelier's in there. If I didn't say Godzilla Train 1090, I think I already did. Helmy, what's up, dude? I think I met Helmy in Japan at the Godzilla birthday in November last year. Kaiju Live, that means AJ's watching. Who else we got in here? I think I saw John Bellotti watching at some
Robo7
point.
is here.
Michael Chakowski's
Robo
watching.
7. Yep, Mike
Mike,
Truskowski. What's up, everybody? Eric Stolp.
There's
Albert Escobedo, sorry. And then, yeah, dude, thank you all for watching. If I haven't said your name live, it's because I'm a terrible person, and we're going to just move along. Because, oh my God, do we have news for you guys? Do we have Kaiju Collectible news to cover? The answer is, oh, yes.
a resounding yes.
Oh, Gretchen is watching too.
Yes.
I just saw Lolo say that. What's up, Gretchen? G-Chan. Anyway, yeah. Okay, Larry. Yes, Larry. Tom Lee. I can't do this
Eric,
all afternoon.
God, so many.
Thank you guys all for watching live, seriously. But we do need to kick things off and start talking about the news because holy moly, ever since... Oh, wait, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Show the video. Yep. Okay, so news dive. Hey! Ever since we last met, at the end of Kaiju Con Line, even before Kaiju Con Line, Ultraman Day happened, and I thought it'd be fun to just literally say, here's every single thing that was announced, every single thing that was released, and every single thing that came to our attention between the last episode and this episode. But no, absolutely not. There's just too much, and you'll see we're not even hitting like half of it basically, and we've got almost an entire episode dedicated to it. It's gonna be fun. So we had Ultraman Day happen, and then we also had San Diego Comic-Con happen. In San Diego Comic-Con at home, that was basically where Mondo showcased some stuff, so I should be showcasing some Mondo items later as well. But the big thing that we're probably going to focus on for at least a little while is the X Plus Summer Kaiju Festival. And because I still have graphics from the event, why don't we just throw those on the screen right now? Woo!
Nice.
Oh, yeah, baby.
What we got?
No, actually, this is the best one. I like this one the best. You see, John, it's got like the little lanterns over in the corner here. Okay, so let's talk about this. When last we chatted, if anybody watched it, we did a live stream episode totally on this by the seat of our pants with zero preparation involved. It was just an idea. It was a good idea, I thought.
It was fun.
It was fun. And to tell you what, dudes, I do not stay up late. I am a 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. bedtime kind of guy generally, and because I wake up at 4 to 5 a.m. and David and I know that about David, right? Because we've traveled together and stuff.
So Kyle, Michael Tchaikovsky, and I are the early morning coffee people at G-Fest.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, those two are always downstairs waiting when I want coffee at 6 a.m. And thank you for that, guys.
So basically we decided that it would be fun to do like a live stream reaction to whatever the Summer Kaiju Festival was going to be. And basically I got like this much information from X Plus, like, oh, it's going to start at this time. It didn't. And then it all kind of spiraled out of control. If you're interested in watching that, which I would not, if I were you, it is available as an unlisted video if you're part of the X Plus group or part of Collect All. If you like our Facebook page, there are links to that video from those pages. But honestly, it's not worth checking out because we're going to talk about it all here, and it's going to be way better because we are a lot better prepared than we were for the Summer Kaiju Festival. The Summer Kaiju Festival is now something that has been broken up into 3 dates. There was July 22nd, August 5th, and then a third event is happening next week. I believe the date is August 19th. and I'm 99% sure we will not be doing a live reaction stream for that. I'm going to need a lot more information from our friends over in Japan if we're going to make that kind of thing happen. But regardless, it was a lot of fun to hang out and do the event. And even though it was a little weird, the reveals have been really cool. Leslie, do you want to start talking about some of those reveals, like specifically the first ones that came out, the first stuff that was announced, like the Gamera stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I think you have pictures, right, Kyle, of this, I think. Do you?
Yeah, I just
right?
have to find them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I just need you to vamp for a second.
Okay. Let's talk about the Devil Real 96 Gamera. From one of my favorite Gamera films, Gamera 2, The Advent of Legion, which, by the way, is coming on Blu-ray in just a few days. More on that later on. Let's see. This is, yes, awesome sculpt. So far, we don't know when it's coming out, and I think it is pending licensor approval. I think that's what it said on the site. But it does look great. And this is the first ever Gamera, to my knowledge, to come into the Devil Real line. And I know the Devil Real line isn't for everybody, but trust me, it's a fun line to go into. Even I don't have every single Devil Real. There's some that speak to me and some that don't. But if you're a Gamera fan, I think you should really go after this. Because like I said, the Devil Reals may not be everybody's cup of tea, but what they offer a lot of detail for a small figure. They don't take much space, and they're not really super expensive. I would assume that maybe the rig option for this is going to be a light up, because I remember the 25 centimeter version and the 30 centimeter version of the 96 Gamera came with light ups, where his mouth and his chest lit up red. So I think S Plus is probably going to do the same thing with this Devil Real, because they have done Devil Real light ups before with the Devil Real Destroyer, Devil Real Monsterverse King Ghidorah. So I look to see that happen for the Devil Real Gamera. But this is awesome. Can't wait for this one. I'm definitely adding this one to my Devil Real collection.
It's a Devil Real buy for you? Okay, sorry. We're going to move on. So they also announced this sharp, pointy boy. Which guy is this, Leslie? This is the
Jiger. This is Jiger or Monster X, depending on whatever you want to call it, depending on which dub you watch. But yes, this is Jiger from the 6th Gamera film in the Showa period, Gamera vs. Jiger, or Gamera vs. Monster X, or World Expo 70 showcase. You know, because that movie was all about the Expo in Japan that year. But this is like really the final figure from the 25 centimeter line in the Gamera series to have a proper release. Now, they did do a Jiger a long time ago, but it was smaller and it's not detailed as what we know S Plus figures are nowadays. But this is such an awesome release. I can't wait to see it when it's all painted and all that good stuff. And it's really timely because 50 years to this year is the 50th anniversary of Gamera vs. Jiger. And, you know, so it's timely for that. But a lot of people have been asking for Jiger. I think Jordan M. Chin, you know, everybody knows who he is. He's been asking for Jiger for God knows how long. When it comes to these events, he's like pretty much the first one that's vocal about where's Jiger? Where's he at? But you know what? He ain't gonna ask anymore because it's finally coming. Maybe they'll try to get it out this year in time for his anniversary, but at least they announced it. What I see as a rig option, what I think would be a cool rig option if it came with that little mini devil statue that's in the film that Gamera stabs Jiger with. I think that would be a cool Rick extra. But yeah, Jiger is coming. So that will completely finish the entire 25 centimeter lineup because they've done Baragon, Viraz, Giron, Zigra, Gauss, and Jiger pretty much is the last one. So kudos S Plus for finishing the Showa, Bill, and Gamera lineup.
Leslie. Now, you've been referring to Jiger as he. Isn't Jiger a she? I mean, you know, let's be real here. I mean, maybe it's a non-binary, but it's definitely a she because there's an egg coming out somewhere, you know, but
yeah, I kind of forgot about that scene. I've been trying to avoid that scene because that scene spoiler alert, she does impregnate Gamera, and if you want to learn more, just buy the daggone set next week, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Sorry, I just had to throw that.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Details.
Let's see here. So next up on the list of stuff to share was a gigantic Bolton. And that guy,
gigantic
is
Bolton,
right here.
is, as far as I know, it's the first villain in the Ultraman Gigantic series, and they couldn't have picked a better iconic Ultraman villain than Bolton. This is Bolton's first appearance from the second episode called "Shoot the Invader." And as you can see, it's a big figure. It's 52 centimeters tall, and I think he's going to look just fantastic next to the gigantic Ultraman. Although they need to do it gigantic Ultraman Type A, which they have not done yet. So maybe that's coming too. So unless I'm wrong, does anybody know if they did an A? I don't think they did. I think they did a C.
I'm not really that familiar with the Ultraman releases.
Definitely a C, but the A,
I know.
The A, you know, okay.
Yeah, the ones they've done thus far has been just the C type Ultraman for the gigantic series.
Right.
So I think maybe an A is not too far down the road, because to sort of go with this guy. There's no real release date yet or ordering information, but I think that what you need to do, everyone, is check out Mike Farah's awesome Kaiju Battle site for the latest updates and latest news. So keep checking his site. There it is, kaijubattle.net, and we get a lot of our great information from that resource. So yeah, keep checking, and I'm sure we'll get that information soon.
All right, so moving along, I guess I don't have the photos of these, but you could always access them on the actual X Plus website. But they posted unpainted prototype photos of Varacane from Return of Ultraman, Alien Bat from Return of Ultraman, Dorobon from Ultraman Taro, and of course, I have to give a mega shout out to Vince for the ID assistance of all these Ultra Kaiju, because it's past my knowledge about this stuff. Then also, they teased silhouettes similar to what you just saw with Jiger for Ultraman 66's Dorako, Ultraman Taro's Birdon, both Ho and Salamandra from Ultraman 80, and Miklas from Ultra 7, or Ultraman 7 if you're in the Thai industry. But the I did want to show one more piece that is just super dope, and it's an Ultraman related item. And it is the teleportation. I don't think you can still get this, but basically X Plus was taking orders during the Summer Kaiju Festival. And so it's a teleportation, hand-painted piece.
Beautiful.
And if I look here in my notes, it says, I think it said it was limited to 150 pieces, but please don't quote me on that. The price was only 10,000 yen, or about $100.
Wow.
And yeah, again, hand painted, I think is what it said. And if you're not sure what this is and why it's super cool, then let's go ahead and share the actual effect with you guys from this episode of Ultraman.
Using his power of teleportation, Ultraman can transport himself from one place to another. But in doing this, his strength will diminish rapidly.
It's so cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I did not purchase that because I don't know if I need it in my collection, but it was definitely something that was intriguing enough for me to start hovering on that forum, be like, should I invest in this? That's a really cool figure.
It's definitely for the Ultraman, for the discerning Ultra collector out there. And
yes.
Bolton's second appearance, which is entitled Science Patrol Into Space, where that scene actually happens at the very end of the episode. So yes, indeed, I did not try to get that one either, and I'm kind of kicking myself because it is so cool.
They also had on, you could get access to purchasing some of these, the green Garamon kit from their 25 centimeter line that was released as I think a super festival, but don't quote me on that, exclusive back in the day. And again, these things were actually announced on the very first Summer Kaiju Festival on July 22nd. So we're going to go ahead and move along to the Ray Harryhausen stuff. So let me
Yes.
open those. So we're
Yes.
going to start with the dinosaurs, obviously.
Yes. Okay, so there's a film that is pretty popular both here and in Japan. It's a Hammer film from 1966 called 1 Million Years BC. And it's a remake of an old Hal Roach movie from the 40s. And it's a pretty awesome movie. It's Ray Harryhausen did all the special effects for it. And there's a pretty exciting soft vinyl figure line coming out from this film. We'll start with, this is actually the latest thing that was released. This is the Ceratosaurus or Keratosaurus. And he's going to be in the 30 centimeter scale. And as I mentioned, it's going to be soft vinyl. And there is no real release or purchasing information just yet. But we do know that in the US, it will be released sometime in the fourth quarter.
And through Star Ace,
yes,
not just X Plus.
That's correct. Sorry. Yes, it's a Star Ace X Plus collaboration, which is pretty neat. And this is the Triceratops that actually battles that very Ceratosaurus. And this guy is actually already up for release, for pre-order. He's going to be 40 centimeters long, and he comes with a mini base and that has like the movie logo on it, which is pretty cool. Now you can buy him separately. Oh, okay. I was going to
go ahead.
Moana, but that's okay. We can move on to the next one.
Oh, wait, her, right?
Yes. Yeah. So there's a Rick set, or the set of two that comes with the Triceratops and Loana, the Raquel Welch figure. And the Triceratops by itself is $189.99 retail, and the set together is going to be $249.99. And as far as I know, you cannot buy her separately. You have to buy her in the set with the Triceratops. Mm-hmm. So those are already up for sale. I believe Flossie's Gifts has that up for sale. And you can buy them from the Star Ace website as well. The first release, which Kyle just talked about, was the Allosaurus battling Tumac, the other caveman dinosaur, which has been up for pre-order for a long time. And the Allosaurus is, again, in the 30 centimeter scale. And you can buy him separately or with the Tumac figure in a set. The standalone figure is $189.99, and the one with Tumac is going to be $249.99. And the Tumac actually comes, the figure comes with realistic fake fur, if that makes any sense. That was in the description. So I don't know how you get realistic fake fur, but I'm kind of stoked for that because as many of you, I'm a huge fan of dinosaurs, and that's what got me started on collecting Godzilla, interested in Godzilla and Kaiju from Japan. So this is a very slippery, dangerous slope for me to go down. I don't have. Oops! I just knocked over the Moo Princess. I got so excited. There's so much stuff here. I don't know where I possibly put them, but I don't know. I'm definitely on the fence about getting those. I have to get at least one representation of that series. So anyhow, that's that.
All right. So is that pretty much it? That was pretty much all that was announced for that very first summer Kaiju Festival event with X Plus. And then, fast forward to, what was it, August 5th or whatever that day was? I can't remember. It's a little blurry. But basically, they came out with a ton of new announcements. Over the course of the night, I'll say, it was posted to their Japanese page first, and then posted to the American or English US-based page later on. And we'll go ahead and kick off with a video that we have. John, actually, do you want to introduce this hot video? This hot video,
okay. Yes. This was something I had the honor of working on, along with working with Jeremy to put this together for X Plus. Burning Godzilla 2019. And so, any audio? No audio?
No, there's no audio on this one for some reason.
I'm sorry.
So that's okay. We won't get into any kind of copyright issues for that. So we'll just.
This is true.
It's a beautiful figure.
It is. The prototype and the painting looks amazing. And I'm not necessarily a collector of the legendary Godzilla, but it's beautifully done.
It's really beautifully done. I'm the same as John, and you can't deny that it's a beautifully rendered figure for sure. Mm-hmm. And hey, Steve Sarajoli, he's saying hi to everybody.
Oh,
Hey, Steve.
hey. Oh, man, that's right. We've got even more people are watching right now. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the screen. So the gigantic burning Godzilla is one of the newest announcements from X Plus, and there's a whole one of the newest giant monster Godzilla announcements from X Plus. They didn't have any in the first event, so we're going to talk about all of those right now. Starting with what? Good Lord, what should we even start with? I guess we don't need to show any more photos of that burning Godzilla. None of these, I think, we have any kind of release information for. Everything was just basically teased.
Right.
And if you're not aware, this was essentially to replace the Summer Festival, Wonder Festival stuff that happens. Super Festival and Wonder Festival events that happen that are not happening right now. What
Actually,
you want to say, Did?
Actually, I think I saw something on the group, on the S Plus Collects Facebook group. I think I saw an ad where it had a picture of the gigantic burning Godzilla 2019, and it had December on it. So that might be the launch date. Now, knowing how S Plus do things, I would expect if this thing is dropping in December, they're probably going to have the pre-orders open for it probably late September, going into October, maybe early September. Right now, we don't know if it's going to be a Vic exclusive release or is it going to come with the standard release. Right now, we don't know anything about that, but I would expect the news to drop probably real soon about that, especially going into later September. And let's just hope and pray. If you're going to order this guy, let's just hope and pray that EMS is up and running by then, because if not,
Right.
People who complained about the gigantic Mechagodzilla, we got off easy because he wasn't as big as the 2019. But let's hope and pray. If you're going to order this new 2019, that the EMS is up and running. If not, please have your money ready for shipping, because it's going to be a doozy.
All right. Well, let's talk about the next baddie from that particular movie, because that's actually, he's on my list of people or monsters that I'm definitely going to be picking up, and that's the 2019 Rodan that X Plus shared. And again, same kind of thing. This is like pending licensor approval, but woo, what a beautiful figure. And I think this is basically going to be it for me. I'm gonna have the 25 centimeter scale Godzilla 2019 and the Rodan, and I'm calling it quits after that. I don't need any delusions of Ghidorah in my collection from the 2019 film. But yeah, I am super psyched for this. We don't know anything else about it, whether it's going to be like what the Rick version is going to be, if it's going to have the volcano base. That's what I'd like it to have. But I will say I do have another pre-order. I was just telling David that I pre-ordered these small, like they're sort of like high grade plus figures. They're a little bit bigger than a high grade figure, but they did these really beautiful Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, Burning Godzilla, and I think the larval form of Mothra as well from that set. And like all of those figures, all 6 of those figures, I think it was $90 for that set. So that's going to be my representation of that movie, the full roster of the monsters from that movie in my collection. And then this one for sure. I mean, if they make a larger version of the Rodan, I would consider it at least, because I like that Rodan very much. Totally like the coolest looking monster, coolest looking version of Rodan since 1956, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree. You guys are going to think this is crazy, but I actually really love that Rodan, and I think of the Kaiju remixes for the Legendary series, I think Rodan was what I was looking for in an updated monster that kept a lot of the nuances of the Showa. So that's why a lot of us respond to that Rodan in a very favorable way. And again, I'm on the fence about it because of the space, but he is kind of suspended, so he can kind of go above some stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how he looks when he's painted. He might be undeniably awesome when he's painted, so it might be a must-have. But hey, John Parkinson, and hey, Paul Costa.
I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah, you're gonna pick that up. I'm psyched for it.
I'm definitely getting it. And actually, a couple of these figure releases, or at least announcements, the potential of what other figures may come in response to what they tease is actually more intriguing. Because we got the 25 centimeter 2019 Godzilla. coming actually this
Right.
month. I actually saw a post from a fellow collector on the S Plus group that the first batch of Ricks for the 2019 is dropping the 24th of this month.
Mhm.
And I guess the second batch is coming like in September. So be on the lookout for that. But with this Rodan, it's just going to lead to, you already know that Mothra may be coming in 25 centimeter scale. I think King Ghidorah is going to be last still, you know, because S Plus has not had exactly the best history when it comes to, like, you know, the more upright King Ghidorahs. Like Death Ghidorah, Kaz Ghidorah, and GMK Ghidorah, they're fine. But the 68 and 64 with the wings, and now with the Monsterverse, with its wings being pretty much bigger than both of those combined, I can see him being like really, really last. But it does lead the potential of the other two to follow. And honestly, like what Kyle said with the Rick, if they repeat what they did with the Defo Rail, with having the volcanic magma orange paint and wings, I'll be fine with that as a Rick. You know what I'm saying? But that volcano base is a good idea too, Kyle. I'm with you on that. I'm definitely getting it. Absolutely.
So as far as I know, there hasn't been too many issues with the 64 X Plus King Ghidorahs. I mean, I don't remember having any issues. Nothing like the extent of issues with the 68.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean,
No,
the 60, I think they learned from the 68. Yeah, totally.
They did, and I don't think there was a single issue that I am aware of. So I might be wrong. Maybe people in the chat room can say differently, but I think that those two pieces are phenomenal. Anyway.
Actually, Mike Cherkowski mentioned that Art Spirits / Kodo, or I think Kodo Bukia, is making a Ghidorah. That's the company that made the little figures that I'm getting. So they made smaller versions of the big figures they're making.
Right.
And I remember seeing like prototype photos when I think they were on display at New York Comic Con last year, but I'm having trouble remembering. Let's move on though, because I really want to talk about Mecha King Ghidorah.
Wow.
So this is clearly another 3D designed piece. I don't know the artist of this particular work, but I had a question for Leslie and the rest of you as well, and that includes people in the chat room too. I think when we were trying to do the live stream of the Summer Kaiju Festival, somebody mentioned that we had actually already seen a painted version, like a photo of this on display. No? Okay, cool.
No.
I just wanted to make sure. We have?
We've seen an actual prototype of it. Yeah.
Was it painted or not?
It wasn't painted. I think they showcased it at the I think it was last year's Winter Fest when they went to Winter Festival. Not this year, but last year when they showcased the first gigantic Godzilla 2019. I think they had that there. I think, but I do remember seeing like a prototype version figure of it. But to me, that one kind of looks different than what they're doing here, which is why probably we haven't seen anything about it since now.
Over 9,000 says that they changed it from the prototype that was shown previously, and that was Winter Wonder Festival 2019, is what he also adds there. So yeah, that's awesome. I like that they're getting into the 90s Heisei films and those monsters.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't see this one. And I'm like this. I know a lot of people are kind of upset that it's taking so long, but I'm like this. With King Ghidorah being such a delicate kaiju to make, especially a mecha version, take as much time as you can, because I don't want them to rush it out and then you get it and a wing is broken off and other mess. But I will say, I think if you ask me, I think they're probably going to save this until next year, because next year marks the 30th anniversary of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, so that would be a more appropriate time to bring out that figure. And I will predict on this show, you've heard me say this on many times on Facebook, but I'm gonna say it here in video form, they will make a 25 centimeter 91 Godzilla to go up against Mecha King Ghidorah, because they done it with the 64, with the 64B 25 centimeter Godzilla. They done it with Kaz Ghidorah with the 25 centimeter Godzilla Final Wars. So expect a 25 centimeter 91 to go with that version of King Ghidorah. And make the Rick come with the in-scale a small mini version of the Godzilla Source. Mecha King Ghidorah.
Oh, that would be great.
I don't care. Put the door rats for Mecha King Ghidorah, but I expect them to come out next year
or
in honor of the 30th anniversary of the movie.
See, I'm hoping for a 25 or 30 centimeter scale of Godzillasaurus, not a Rick Extra. I would like to see a straight up figure of that because Godzillasaurus.
That would be great.
And I love that part of the movie. People have a lot of opinions about that movie, but I love the Lagos Island stuff.
Yeah,
it's great.
I agree.
John Parkinson said the kids ship should be the Rick Extra for Mecha King Ghidorah.
Yeah, maybe.
It'd be awesome to have kid and mother as a 2-pack.
Yeah,
that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I would really like to have a small mother representation in my collection.
Yep.
Up at the front, I have the 84 kit that you built me, David. It's the released by Acro, I believe, and it was sculpted by Oyama. And basically, right next to him, I have a tiny little Super X, right, that was just in a different part of my collection. And then I have the Sakai 91 next to it, and I really want a little mothership to go right in front of that. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. But Godzilla, of course, please.
Godzillasaurus would be kind of cool. And I was originally going to say, but the scale would be so silly. But I think it works because you don't necessarily need to say that it's in scale with the rest of the figures, because there's no way that a Godzillasaurus would be in scale with any Godzilla figure.
He would be way too small.
Right. So I agree with you completely.
And plus, you can have the Godzilla, where you show him before he was irradiated and after he got irradiated. That's why I say have it come with the small 25 centimeter Godzillasaurus.
Jordan Leitner wants a 25 centimeter Dorat.
That's an interesting idea.
Oh, I know Gretchen would want that too. That would be the way to get Gretchen into X Plus. All right. Nice. So I think we're going to go ahead and move on to the next Godzilla announcements, which were, the Defa-Real 84. Again, we don't know a release date for this, but basically, we do know that the Rick version will be a light up.
And I didn't get this, so this was great. I didn't get the Rick version. That looks great.
Get it, John. Get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
So this is a second version then, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's going to come with I would assume, I hope, even though the picture has it white, but it would be so awesome if the those plates were blue, just like the film was.
I agree. Totally.
I'm thinking about double dipping, but I don't know. But I'm fine with what I got. But yeah, make it blue X Plus, not white.
It would be nice to make a little diorama night scene and put little holes and a little light behind it, so it's like the birds, in the distance or something. And
John, I think you're on that. You got to get on that.
Yeah,
that's all
definitely going to try that.
That is all
It's got your name all over that,
totally.
John Ruffin.
Now you have to do it.
Yeah, but
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, but for those who missed out on this the first time, time and don't spend $400 on eBay, do it this time and get it for a good price, because he is worth it, especially if you're an 84 fan. This is all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't get it because I didn't want the nuclear reactor attached, But now I so need this.
I just wish that it would be able to be removed and put back in place. That would be the ultimate scenario for me.
Because I want that for the Sakai, 84.
Yes.
Okay, so moving along from our good 1984 friend.
Yes.
The next Defa-Real announced is another one that's going to have my wallet going should we get this guy? And that's the beautiful, adorable little chibi Defa-Real Varan here. It's really well sculpted. It is unbelievable how well it's sculpted. And it's also unbelievable, Leslie, that the Rick probably comes with this adorable little Baradagi statue, which is sort of like the icing on the cake / the thing that makes me go, okay, I think I need that.
This is a no-brainer.
Actually, you know what?
Too.
Actually, you know what? They did the exact same thing with the King Caesar statue. If you look closer here at the King Caesar statue for the Defa-Real, they actually enlarged the head of the Defa-Real statue. That's why, because normally, I wish I had the statue. I got the regular 25 centimeter King Caesar, and it's way over there across continents. I ain't going there to get it. But this statue, when it came to Defa-Real, his head is enlarged, more so the rest of his body, kind of like the Defa-Real itself. So more likely, so because judging from the pictures, they're doing the exact same thing with Varan. So once again, like King Caesar, if you're a fan of Varan, because we don't get many Varan figures from X Plus, nowadays. And once again, I know Death of Real is like an acquired taste, but get it.
So this is the realistic version of the Baradagi statue. So now you can see that compared to that. It's adorable, guys. It's adorable.
It really is adorable. I think that Robert, Kyle, and I were talking about this a little bit on the reveal night. The fact that they're able to sculpt this in a super deformed version and yet still look so realistic, that is a real talent. Like, it is a realistic super deformed. I mean, that if you just put that head on a bigger body, that would be perfect, And even the statue head looks perfect, and it's just on a little smaller body. But really, really nice, fun thing that I am absolutely going to get for sure.
I should ask G if they have like one person that's sculpting all of these Defa reels. It would be interesting to speak with them.
That's a good question. Yeah.
So we're going to keep the Defa reel train going. Oh, what's up?
I feel like it's a missed opportunity, even though I enjoy the statue that comes with Varan. But I feel like they probably should have went with the priest that holds up that shrub and does all this in the film.
What Kyle really wants, he wants Chibi.
I've already got Chibi.
Chibi too.
He's sleeping on the couch over there.
But the little Shiba Inu that gets lost, and that would be cool to have too. A little Chibi.
That would be cool. Right on. So moving along, we've got the Mechagodzilla 1975 from Terror of Mechagodzilla. They showed unpainted 3D render images here of this. Not too much to see, but if you're a Defa Real fan and a Mechagodzilla fan, be on the lookout, I guess. Oh man, awesome. Devagoji just said here. Whoop, cancel. He said Defo Daimajin needs to happen.
Definitely.
And I completely agree.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of chibi style Daimajin things, but they're only like this big.
Yeah,
I'm down 100%. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
I'm definitely getting the Defa Real Mechagodzilla 75. The 75 Mechagodzilla is my favorite version of Mechagodzilla. I just love the look better than 74, even though 74 is awesome. But once again, the potential, what that figure may lead to. I know a lot of people want a Defa Real Titanosaurus, so that may be coming. Or a Defa Real 75 Godzilla. We know a 74 is coming next month. And also with the Rick feature for the Defa Real Mechagodzilla 75, since the Defa Reals pretty much have the head size that you will find on a gigantic series figure, wouldn't it be cool if the Rick option came with the brain, the bigger brain apparatus that comes, with Mechagodzilla and like a light up. So if it does that, I'm definitely getting the Rick for the Defa Real Mechagodzilla 75. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
Defa Real Katsura and Defa Real Dr.
Well, we know about the Dr. Serizawa coming, which was literally the first Defa Real that made me say, I think I have to have that.
That's a must. I think we're all going to get that guy for sure.
All right.
I mean, they could do a whole line of just human figures.
I completely agree with that.
Yes, please.
Let's move along, though. We're going to branch off into Star Ace stuff for a little bit because there is a crazy 2-pack coming out. We've known about it for a little while, but this is the Star Ace Kong versus the Skullcrawler set, and this is available through Star Ace. You can get this on their website or pre-order it, I think, on their website. We'll have a link in the show notes to all of this kind of stuff as long as it's linkable. Now, unfortunately, what we were kind of hoping is that that summer Daikaiju festival that we covered live was going to have some sort of interactivity available to us, and it just didn't happen. It's probably the best way I could say that. And is Mike Tchaikovsky saying that that's a $500 statue? I'm not sure.
Yes,
but basically, it's beautifully made, but I'm not such a Skull Island fan that I would pick this one up.
I'm like, I'm not a big fan of Skullcrawler either. Now I do have the Kong. Now the Kong is awesome. So for those who missed out on the Kong earlier this year and want to get your hands on this, the new Kong, I would say go for it. I think like Kyle said, they're doing 3 versions. They're doing a deluxe version where it has Kong on top of his base. the Skullcrawler and his base. The normal version comes with just Kong without the base and the Skullcrawler and his base, and they're doing just a Skullcrawler with his base alone. And we've heard mixed reports about it being resin. I've heard that the figure was resin, then I heard just the base is going to be resin. We don't really know a lot about that, but it is going for like a high price, so I would expect that resin is going to be part of the figure. But yeah, if you're a Skullcrawler fan, if you're a Kong fan, especially if you're a Kong Skull Island fan, go for it. I think this is dropping in December too. But if you're gonna go all out with the set where you get everything, like Michael Chakowski said in the chat, that's probably going to be at least $500 with shipping including. So just be very aware of that.
All right. Well, I'm not going to zoom in anymore to the Kong butt for this particular segment, despite AJ wanting me to go there. I know. Another impressive aspect of I think I covered all the Godzilla stuff, right? I covered Godzilla. We covered the Star Ace stuff with Kong, and so now we're moving on to the next X Plus Star Ace announcements that were made, and I guess that will be the Harryhausen stuff. Which one do you want to start with, my friend?
Sure. I guess we could kind of start with the Ymir from, of course, the creature from Venus, featured in 20 Million Miles to Earth, which is a great Harryhausen flick. And Harryhausen never called these creations monsters. He always called them creatures because they were kind of like misunderstood and not necessarily evil. So he called them his creature creations, not his monster creations. So that's kind of interesting. So yes, this is the Ymir, and he's going to be, there's not a whole lot of information about these yet, but he's going to be soft vinyl and in the 30 centimeter scale. So there is no information about pricing or release date or anything like that. But again, Kaiju Battle is your place to check it out. And apparently G told me that this is taken from the actual sculpture that Harryhausen used for the film. So I think they got, their hands on images of that particular sculpture, and they created this piece, which is pretty impressive. And I've always loved this creature, and I think this is a must-have for to be in my collection.
It's definitely a beautiful piece. I'm so so happy that they are doing more than just the dinosaurs. Should we move on to the one-eyed monster?
Sure. Again, they're doing another Harryhausen creature creation, and this is, of course, the Cyclops from the first Sinbad movie, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. And this creature always scared me when I was little.
Collect all creatures.
Collect all creatures. That's right. We got to change it for Ray. This creature, this thing came after people straight up, and he was roasting people on the spit, which is pretty scary for a little kid to watch. But it looks like model kit quality. It's pretty amazing. Again, in the 30 centimeter scale, and I'm sure we'll find out ordering information and pricing very, very soon. And I know Dan Miller is very stoked about this because he's a huge Seventh Voyage of Sinbad fan, as am I. And Kyle and I were talking about this earlier, that it would be great if this is just the first of many down the line of Harryhausen creations, because there's so many more that I would actually like to see and own, although I don't have the space for them. But Kyle and I did say if there's more coming, we would definitely clear a space to have a dedicated Harryhausen shelf.
Yeah, and if there's more coming, David and I are going to split a collection where we'll just ship it back up to Seattle and Portland, back and forth throughout the year.
Yes, we will. That sounds good to me.
Right on. So there's also, in addition to the realistic Cyclops, there is another Cyclops, a Defa-Real Cyclops.
Wow.
Yeah. So Defa-Real Cyclops wasn't on my radar. You might want to talk about this one, Kyle. I don't remember.
Yeah, so essentially, I think what's happening, this is just a guess, but what I'm guessing is that since we have this 100 years of Harryhausen happening, the license holders of Harryhausen's estates have probably opened up to doing more stuff, and so taking advantage of it, X Plus is like, well, let's not just do a realistic figure, but let's add it to the Defa-Real line. And again, we don't know when these things are going to be dropped, and we don't know anything else that's happening as far as price or if it's going to be if there's going to be anything special if you order it from the other the other site, Star Ace, or what. But basically, this is all we know. We've got these interesting Harryhausen lines happening, and I gotta say, if they start kicking this up, I have the original Cyclops from the early 2000s when they did the stuff that was available here in the States. Still a really great sculpt in my opinion, but I really would love to see stuff that they never made in this series. I would like to see the Kraken. I would like to see other stuff from Clash of the Titans. I didn't feel like, I know the dragon got made in this series, and that's really cool, the dragon from Jason and the Argonauts, but I really want to see the Hydra from Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. And of course, who doesn't want to see, what kaiju fan out there doesn't want to see the Rhedosaurus from Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, right?
Yeah.
That would be a dream come true. Also, the tour from the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, which is my favorite Sinbad movie in the series because it's a little bit more serious than the other. Yes, Golden Voyage of Sinbad, Matthew. Yes, absolutely. I would love to see the little homunculus, the little flying reptilian creature.
You could customize that by taking a Ymir figure.
You could, you could. But the one-eyed centaur from that cave on the island of Lemuria, that always scared me too. I was always afraid of that thing too. So, but yes, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing these guys in the future.
John Stanowski of Kaiju Addicts asked me to, I think, do this, make this big so you guys can see.
Oh yeah,
Cyclops.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is like, I don't have X Plus figures over on this side, right? Nothing. Yeah, everything's over there. But basically, he stands up and it's a little less than a 25 centimeter. I'm guessing he's probably 20 centimeter figure. But he's also got this cool posable mouth, so you can have it open.
Oh, nice.
Have it sort of more.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then he is posable. His arms move and stuff, but he's pretty top heavy, so you got to be careful with that. I only picked up one other figure from that original series, and that is the Griffin.
I love the Griffin,
which is from another Sinbad movie. Yeah, I love the Sinbad movies. Actually, Clash of the Titans was probably my introduction to Ray Harryhausen. And then when we lived in Japan, my mom was like, "Oh, you should check out these Sinbad movies." I actually watched Sinbad movies in Japan when I lived there. But yeah, I like the stuff that we haven't seen. So the Cyclops being announced is cool, but I would love for them to go where we haven't seen, like the stuff, like larger figures. Like they did some really great, X Plus did some really great small scale Harryhausen stuff that was like, I don't know if it was Polystone or whatever, but basically I didn't get any of them. But I would like to see larger scale things like the Hydra, the Rhedosaurus, even another dragon, from that movie I totally just said.
Seventh Voyage. Yeah.
No, the dragon's from is it from Seventh Voyage?
Yeah, he fights the Cyclops.
Okay, yeah. Because there's also the Centaur as well, right?
Well, the Centaur's golden. The Centaur fights the Griffin.
Yes.
Centaur fights the Griffin, and the Cyclops fights the dragon. And those figures you were referring to, they were considered to be chess pieces. They were like that little poly resin, and they were almost like Iwakura cast figures in that they were and they were readily available here in the States. But I would love to see the figurehead, the wooden figurehead that comes alive on the ship.
That'd be cool.
On the ship, yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be super cool. But anyhow,
so
let's keep our fingers crossed.
Cherkowski says they need to do a Rhedosaurus.
100%.
The Cyclops is tempting. Let's see. Who else we got? Somebody wants to see the one-eyed centaur. Matthew wants to see the one-eyed centaur. Obviously, everybody wants to see the Beast. Yeah. Come on. That's a no-brainer, X Plus. Let's do it. And a Kali with the swords would be cool too. Yes, absolutely. 30 centimeter Kraken. Hey, why not a gigantic Kraken? That's what I say.
Oh, wow.
Oh. How about the disembodied oracle head that comes out of the well? Well,
the one with the crazy horns. Yeah, that would.
The awesome. Oracle could tell us what's coming next.
That's true. That's
right.
True. Yeah. Oh wow, a lot of love for Kali. That's awesome. 30 centimeter Hydra. I agree. I totally agree.
Oh yeah. All of the above, man. All of the above for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so oh man, now I got to find that. Okay, there it is.
I'm gonna need a bigger house.
Gonna need a bigger house. I mean, basically, the idea of collecting Harryhausen stuff has never really been on my radar, but because all of those movies have such a strong nostalgic connection to me, it's like I need to have more than just a small vinyl figure here and there. Like I would love to showcase. Yes, I love Harryhausen's creatures for sure. Okay, so I think that takes care of. Is that it? That takes care of everything for the X Plus Summer Kaiju Festival. Did I miss anything, guys?
Nope. I don't think so. I think we got it all.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's actually do some. Let's break away from the ultra realistic stuff and let's talk about some Sofubi news. Sofubi noise. All right, so let's see here. What do I have? I have a couple of things that have been recently posted. Let me find. Here's my Maru-san image gallery here. So I said that I interviewed Kaminaga-san, the current president of Maru-san, and hopefully we're going to start being able to share more of his announcements. But if you don't follow Kaminaga-san on Instagram and you love this type of stuff, you definitely should follow him on Instagram. He's even on Facebook too. But they are doing a lot of collector releases. Maru-san used to be in the toy business. I don't want to give too much away from the interview, but Maru-san used to be in the toy business at large, meaning they made thousands and thousands of stuff, thousands and thousands of products for kids. So like if Maru-san made this in the 60s, they would be making, 1,000 of these, not just 20 for the collector market. And so in order to survive after they came back in the 90s, the current president of Maru-san, Kaminaga-san, he basically has turned Maru-san into a collector market focused toy company, right? So they don't make stuff that you could go buy in Toys R Us. They make stuff directly for the collector market. And currently, they have a Tokyo Hands exclusive stuff. They have several Tokyo Hands exclusives. And we're going to start with these Ultraman guys. These are the 350 series, so they're about 8 inches tall. And they've got a gold eye Ultraman. All of these are glow in the dark, by the way. And available at Tokyo Hands in Shibuya. So if you're interested in any of these things, I would basically start looking at Mandarake starting now, because I think they're on display. And if you're in Japan, go to the 2A floor of the Tokyo Hands Shibuya store for this stuff. So they've got this really cool glow-in-the-dark Ultraman in the 350 series, in the 450 series as well, which is bigger. Those are like 12 inches tall. The 450 series also has an Ultraman Ace, and they're doing this Garamon, which, oh my God, it's so beautiful. So this is going to be a big, beautiful Garamon, and it's glow in the dark with silver and red paint. Someday I might have to pick this guy up. Also, Christine's not here to, gab about this, but basically we have an announcement saying that Maru-san is working on some kind of Biollante. And we know they just did a 450 size Rose Biollante. So who knows what we're going to see coming from Maru-san. That's the Maru-san releases I'm going to talk about. I could talk about more because if you follow them, they are constantly doing small shows in Tokyo and Japan and the areas around Tokyo. And almost every time they do a show, they have show exclusive vinyls that are available at that show. So, whew.
So Kyle, real quick.
Load. Yeah.
Related to what you just said, don't you remember we came across an Ultraman Maru-san pop-up in
Ikebukuro.
And it was very, very cool. And I guess they're following suit with these newer, larger sculpts. But I remember how cool that actually was in the lobby of this department store. They had that Maru-san pop-up, which was really neat.
Yeah, that's something that if I lived in Japan, maybe someday, then I would try and take advantage of that stuff as often as possible.
For sure.
I guess now's a good time for me. I'm just going to load up a few images here from our good friends at Bullmark, because they also have been working on some cool stuff. And if you weren't aware, Bullmark is one of those super old toy companies that's been around forever, but they sort of went through some harsh times financially, and they have sort of come back these days, again, selling to the collector market. And so Bullmark has announced a new blue Godzilla with the tower. There's another one as well. It's in the yellow vinyl, I believe. They've got a gorgeous clear Hedorah and a big red Hedorah as well. And then I picked this guy up, the Mechagodzilla.
It's neat. It's cool.
And a removable helmet
So,
Ultraman Taro.
Oh, I love those.
yeah.
Man. Now here's the deal. I'm going to tell people who are watching, if you're unfamiliar with ordering from websites like this, basically some of them have started to open up sales to America, but if they have not, the way to do this is to find a third-party company to do this for you, where they basically order the figure for you and then they ship it to you from their warehouse instead of directly from the Bullmark manufacturer. But you can always check out, as we've been talking about, Michael Farah's website, kaijubattle.net, but another resource is softvi.tokyo, which I don't have loaded up into a fancy banner, but basically that's direct from Japan news about soft vinyl releases, and that's how I find out about a lot of the Marusan stuff, the Bullmark stuff, is from seeing it posted on softvi.tokyo. So, moving along, Lola wants me to show the new Zazan, but I did not save all those images. So she's super happy that one of her favorite monsters is getting a cool, I think it's a clear with paint inside reissue.
And they're also doing the Busca.
Zazan. Oh yeah, the Busca as well. Yeah, there's, as you guys can't tell, we're an hour and 20 minutes into this, and we've pretty much talked about nothing but kaiju releases, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and move on. So we'll continue talking about some more Sofubi stuff. Let's continue with our good friends at CCP. So if you guys are unaware, CCP has the ability to do licensed Godzilla products and Ultraman products, figures, vinyls, of course. And essentially, they're well known for several Hedorah figures, Hedorah style figures. There's the landing stage, there is the smoker, there's the sort of like, I don't know what all their names, but basically CCP often releases Hedorah figures, and they are continuing to do so. So this is the Blaze series. Hedorah is available in the smoker and in this giant guy and in this glowering monster as well. I don't know all the names for them. I just found out about a lot of this stuff. So they're also doing a couple of Godzillas, the 1962 and the 1964. And the difference I wanted to say between these two series, these two releases, is that the Hedorahs are made out of a clear vinyl, where it does not look like the Godzillas are made out of clear vinyl. If they are, it's not showing through the photos. It looks like just a paint.
It's pretty cool. Burning 62. That's pretty neat looking.
Burning 62. Do me a favor and tell me, do any of you guys have any? Do any of my co-hosts here have any of the Hedorah releases from that?
I do not. I did, and I sold it, but I do not have it any longer.
Okay, cool. That was the perfect amount of time for me to add a banner here, because somebody in the chat wanted to know the address. There it is. Hey. There's the softbuy.tokyo. I mean, it literally is just what I said, but I understand that's a oh, it's all in Japanese too. So if you check this out on like Google Chrome, that has a feature where you can auto translate stuff, and it basically just gives you a better understanding of what's happening, even though the Google Translate stuff isn't always perfect. So there you go. That's the CCP events, or the CCP stuff that I wanted to talk about. And let me look real quick to see what else there is. Oh yeah, we should probably talk about these guys. There's a company, oh man, I think I'm going to say this wrong. Onsaku Onraku. They have started creating smaller, or actually they're not that small, soft vinyl figures, and Christine showed off one of these the other day. This is their 84 that basically they just announced. Again, this is what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the news cycle in between the shows where like things will come out and be announced and then release, or the pre-order window might close before our next episode. So that kind of happened here. This is an 84 Cybot that they are making, and it's super cute. And they set it up as a lottery, so you have the opportunity to win the chance. Oh, you can win purchase rights, is what they're called. So this lottery piece just came out, or just was picked. So a bunch of people won over the course of the weekend. I actually was one of those guys. So I'll be getting this beautiful boy for my collection a little bit later. Thank you very much. I should also note that this is the third or fourth, I think it's actually the fourth piece that they've made. And there is a brand new set, the 1971 Godzilla, that just got announced just the other day. So this one, I'm assuming, is also going to be another lottery piece. But I don't know. I mean, does anybody have any other... So the lottery thing that I entered was cool because it let people from across the sea order, overseas people. I could enter that lottery. I didn't have to go through a third-party seller. But I don't know if they make these, if these are actually available just on the regular, especially if it's like this one that says Godzilla Final Wars. But more information, we'll probably know more about this when Christine joins us next.
So real quick, John Stanowski asked where John and I got our shirts. We got them from Uniqlo, USA, and they were about $7.90, if I'm not mistaken. They were really reasonable, and I'm not sure if they're sold out, but definitely check out their website. And it's very comfortable, nice cotton. Really, they had a whole bunch, but quite a few were sold out in many sizes, including my size. So they had a little Garamon with a little shirt with a pocket, and the Garamon was coming out with a balloon. I wanted to get that for Keith, but they only had extra small. So yeah, Uniqlo USA, check it out. And hi, Jonathan Portman. How's it going, buddy?
There you go. So it looks like they're sold out of some American sizes.
Oh, wow.
And, but yeah, look. Oh, dude, it's even cheaper. It's only $5.90 now.
$5.90. Wow.
I want my $2 back.
Very comfortable. Yeah.
But yeah, Uniqlo they've been doing Ultraman stuff in Japan for several years. So it's funny, we're finally able to hop in on something from the States. Pretty cool.
Yes, indeed. Go for it, John. Go get you one.
Yeah. So very nice.
All right. So let's see. What else were we going to talk about here? I've got to open my folder here filled with... Oh, David, this is a perfect time for you to talk about the Ultra statue.
Oh, yes. Let me see where I've got that. I've got the info written down for that, and that is... Where is that?
Sorry, I should take my own advice, and I should vamp and tell the people who are watching, thanks for watching live. We really appreciate you guys watching while we're broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. You're watching Collect All Monsters.
I don't need my darn notes. I know this off the top of my head because I really want it. It is a statue, a limited statue released by Ami Ami, the toy company, and it is a resin cast statue. It is 40 centimeters tall, and it includes a cool base with the nameplate and a little bit of, I think it's a little bit of the Science Patrol building down there. And of course, he's holding the Science Patrol jet VTOL, which is amazing. And the cool thing about this statue is the color timer and his eyes both light up, which is super cool.
Fabulous.
40 centimeters. The cost is pretty expensive. The retail in Japan is 65,000 yen, which translates to about 616 US.
Ooh.
It's one of those things where I was talking to John Stanowski about this. It's like, it's almost irresistible, but I have some trepidation about it. For aside from the cost, it is a poly resin piece, and if that cracks in transit, it's not impossible to fix a Godzilla that breaks in transit, because you can sort of sculpt the texture of the skin or the dorsal plates or what have you. But if this cracks, man, I don't know if I can repair it, and that would be tragic indeed to have a broken $600 plus statue arrive at your house. But
yeah, and the difference cracking between like a resin statue that's going to just be like snap, oh, you've got one piece and another piece, right? You got to just join those together. Polystone resin is like
crumbles.
brittle.
Yep.
So it'll break, and then the pieces around the break will also crumble away, like David said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. So yeah, I didn't need my darn notes because I was been eyeing this for since it was released. Yes, a little over $600, but the release date is, I believe, it's going to be December of 2020. So not too far off. So you can always ask Santa for it if it comes to that. And so
if Santa loves you very much.
If Santa loves you very much, you've been good all year, and I think we all deserve something awesome like this for the holidays. But anyway, it's a beautiful piece, and there it is.
There it is. All right, Mr. John Ruffin. I think the next thing we're going to share is your CD news.
Yeah, it came across my feed. It's a Godzilla game music soundtrack CD.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the game, I guess background music. It's up on Amazon Japan for pre-ordering. I think it's going to go for about $35. So great art there, as well for the CD jack.
I think I have that album. I feel like I think so. Well, I mean, I have a bunch of digital stuff because people gave me a ton of music when I started the Kaiju Cast. And I'm pretty sure that I have the Super Godzilla soundtrack. Maybe it's like an older release. I know that CinemaCon has been re-releasing a lot of stuff as of late. We don't really talk about them so much on the show, but I want to say they've released the Varan soundtrack, Dogora, stuff like that. Like lots of older Kaiju soundtracks have been reissued on CD as of late.
Excellent.
All right. So I guess that means that it's probably my time to talk about, oh man, there's just so much to talk about, you guys. But let's talk about the premium Bandai releases.
Yes.
And man, oh man, holy crud. I just opened up so many images on my computer here. Hang on 1 second. I just have to do a little cleanup here.
So are you, while Kyle's doing that, are you guys in the chat room overwhelmed by all these releases coming out? I mean, it's just, we're all like blown away and kind of staggered by it. And the good thing about all of these releases is there is something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, there's more than something for me. I like many things, but it's just kind of nuts. And the thing about this whole quarantine is these things make us happy, and we need things in our lives to make us happy right now. So I say bring it on. The more the merrier. There you go.
The more the merrier. All right. So number one, I have to say something. When David and I did our premium Bandai King Ghidorah set video way back a million years ago, we said a lot of things about premium Bandai, just sort of as sort of larger paintbrushed statements. But basically, we weren't talking about premium Bandai as a whole. We were thinking about it just in terms of this one series, which is this series, which, we talked about the Ghidorah set and the Gargantua set and Frankenstein and Baragon, and this is that series, basically that series of figures. And they are releasing, premium Bandai is releasing a Jet Jaguar figure. David and I had a chance to chat about this Sunday morning of Kaiju Con Line, because basically my Bandai rep saw Kaiju Con Line and was like, will you please share this information? And I was like, oh, well, the easiest way to do that at the time was to do an impromptu live video. But yes, this Jet Jaguar is going to have several arms, or 2 pairs of arms, and a full flying version as well. Not to mention this crazy chest piece that symbolizes the transformation. And this is available for pre-order right now on the premium Bandai website, but only the Japanese one. Unfortunately, they have started working on that American website, and for some releases, you can get stuff through them, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But at the moment, this premium Bandai Jet Jaguar figure is only available on the Japanese side of things.
And the flying version was so big. He's really big.
Yeah, it is actually two figures, right?
Yeah,
I think that when we first started talking about this, it just kind of seemed like one figure that
Exactly.
you changed, that you could transform. But I'm going to talk about price point in just a little bit as well. So, yeah, get out your calculators, everybody, because it's going to be real fun. But basically, these premium Bandai figures are essentially high. They're again like Marasan in a sense. They're not being sold to Toys R Us and being produced by the million. These are being produced in lower quantities specifically for the collector market. And
that's
so
X plus quality right there. That's beautiful.
it really is X plus quality. And someday we should probably do some comparison stuff where we show here's the X plus version of this, and here's the Bandai, the premium Bandai version of this. Because there's a price point level that I'll get again. I'm going to get to in just a second, but it pushes a lot of people away, the high cost of these things. And so I just wanted to show off a couple more pieces here, because not only are they doing a Jet Jaguar figure. Oh, that's coming up next. That's not the one I wanted to show next, so I'm going to skip past that. But basically, they have. Looks like I'm stopping this screen share until I can get my act together.
That's okay.
Here it is. This is the guy here. You know, this is the whole thing about doing a live show, you guys.
Okay.
All right, hide that sidebar, please, and then share this. We were alerted to this Skull Island Kong figure that has been announced from Premium Bandai. And it is really nicely sculpted. I mean, it actually looks like a much smaller version of the X Plus Kong, in my opinion.
It does. It really does.
Especially that first release.
Beautiful.
So basically, these just got announced along with some other stuff. But, you know, I was looking at these figures, and I was kind of like, as much as I like my friend who works at Bandai, you know, the first figures that came out had my attention, and as they continue to come out, they've sort of, my attention has waned. So what I wanted to do real quick is just share. I've done this for X Plus stuff in the past too. It's like Buzz Killington's Guide to Premium Bandai. So basically, the very first figure, single figure release, was about $40 if you lived in Japan. Gaira, followed by Sanda, again $40. Frankenstein, little bit more expensive, but not too much more expensive. Really kind of cool to have these figures available, especially in the sort of Bandai 6-inch scale. They did Baragon, who was even more. And again, it wasn't just Baragon. Baragon comes with a cute little Frankenstein hand as well. Then the Godzilla came out, and he was 6,600 yen, you know? So we're seeing an increase in these as well, right? So after the 54 came out, then we saw the Ghidra set, which makes sense that the Ghidra set would be expensive. Ghidra's a big figure, and it's essentially 2 full Ghidra figures in the box. But again, if you're looking at these and you're just tracking the price, it's like, wow, they just keep getting more and more expensive. Follow the Ghidra up with the first release of the Mechagodzilla set for $176. And again, this is 3 figures, so I guess keep that in mind, but still, they're getting more expensive. And thankfully, the disguised Mechagodzilla in the Godzilla suit is actually a little bit cheaper, but still $130 essentially to get these 2 figures. You're starting to get into much more expensive territory, right? So a 2-figure set, if you had said the Gargantuas are a 2-figure set, that would have been 40 plus 40, $80. We're now looking at almost double that just for this set. So then you look at the Jet Jaguar figure, which is almost $200.
Wow.
And I don't know about you guys. I'm not Leslie Chambers, who grew up with Godzilla versus Megalon. And so I'm not the kind of guy that would look at this and go, wow, that's awesome, I got to have it. Leslie, I know you don't really collect Premium Bandai, but like, what do you feel? What are your thoughts about this price tag for this Jaguar figure, which is a 6-inch figure? Again, like 2 6-inch figures with extra arms.
It just depends. Once again, even though Megalon was my first film, it's not like I'm going to collect every single thing about the film. But I'm sure some folks out there that may look at Megalon as their favorite um, film and want to collect pretty much everything associated with that film. There's nothing wrong with that. I will agree, since I'm not too familiar with Bandai, I think even then, I think this is a little bit high for a humanoid type of character. Now, had it been something like Legion, Alante, or maybe something even more complex, like a
Or a
Destroyer or something like that.
Godzilla and Jet Jaguar 2-pack that has the 73 Godzilla with this Jet Jaguar. Like, that would make a little more sense to me. But yeah, I
Right.
guess for me, I'm just like, wow, it's just so expensive. Now, thankfully, the Kong figure dropped in price because it is one single figure, and the only extra feature is a tentacle that you could put in his mouth. So
Which is cool. I like that feature.
Yeah.
anyway, that's my little there's no conclusion to that. Just, Bandai premium Bandai, please take that into consideration, and let's not really make these super expensive, because if you don't get that Jet Jaguar figure when it's released, and you have to get it from the secondary or tertiary market,
Yeah.
you are going to have to pay
God.
so much money that essentially it's like, well, why not just get the X Plus Jet Jaguar?
Exactly.
Right.
Thank
Right.
you. Thank you.
You know what? I was just thinking while we're talking about the Bandai Premium. How cool would it be for us Ultra fans if they did all of the 66 Ultra Q and or Ultraman series in premium Bandai format? How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm down for all sorts of high quality Ultra Q figures.
I think that would be really, really good because for many reasons. One, not being the high price tag, but the scale of them would be really easy to you put them kind of all on one shelf once you get them all. And I think if the detail follows suit from what we've seen so far, I think they would be stunningly awesome. So put that. Your friend from Bandai, you might want to mention that to him, or maybe he's watching right now.
I'll make sure to just give him like this point instead of the point where I was talking trash about their pricing.
I think this is a more positive point. Yes, but
Yeah.
I think
Kaneda-san, watch from this point forward. Don't go back.
good deal.
Oh, okay. So we don't have too much more to cover in the news section. So let's blaze through this super fast. David, do you want to talk about the Aurora Godzilla kit?
Yes, I do. Okay, so those of us old school fans, John and I especially, we grew up in the 70s, and we missed the long box Auroras, so we started collecting the square box glow in the dark series. So we're very excited that the model company Atlantis is releasing the original square box format and the original James Bama artwork. And I even found out that the styrene color, the plastic that's the model's made of, is actually the same blue-green with the glow pieces as we got back in the day, which is really cool.
Nice.
This is actually coming out, I believe, in September, and it's a pretty reasonable price. I think it's $32.99.
Yeah.
And there's a few places where you can order it from. You can get it right from the Atlantis Model Kit site. A web store, or you can get it from Cult TV Man Model Shop or Monsters in Motion, whatever you choose. And the prices are all about the same, give or take a buck or two. But I'm personally very, very excited about this. And I actually bought one for G Akamoto because I know he's been searching for the original box. This is the square box. I could not find him one in good enough condition. So I'm going to definitely send him one of these because the price point is so great. And, the X Plus has been inspired by these Aurora style boxes. He's been doing the long boxes. So maybe now we'll see a couple square box versions coming out in the future when he gets inspired by this. So I'm pretty stoked about it. How about you, John? Are you looking forward to this guy?
Oh, absolutely. Already pre-ordered.
Me
Done.
too.
I'm going to pre-order another one so I can put it together.
Yep, exactly. And definitely back in the day, my father was the man who put the figures together, and then my mother would paint them, and I would micromanage both parts of the process. No, I wanted that color. And back then, I remember my mother painted him green first of all, and I wanted him not gray, but brown. So the second one was painted brown. And then I think I even had a third that I just left with the glow pieces on there. But definitely nostalgic, definitely brings me back to my childhood and the origins of my collecting journey. So I'm super excited about it. And for the price point, you guys can all get one too.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk, let's actually segue right there from a price point that anybody can afford to a much larger price point and still a model kit. David, do you also want to talk to us about the KOC updated, not update, the new KOC model?
Yes, I do. And the funny thing is when I type this out to friends on Facebook, the autocorrect always does KFC. So it's like, whatever. You know, a model and 2-piece and a biscuit, I'll take it. So anyway, this is the second in the series that sculptor Akira Ibaraki did. The 64 resin kit that I showed you in the beginning was the first one that was created in this format. It's a resin cast kit, and it's basically held together with pins and magnets, and there's really no need for glue because it holds together without that. I think ultimately you might want to add glue, but it's a game changer as far as I'm concerned for resin kit building. This one is also going to come with 2 sets of heads that you can switch at your convenience because they're magnetized. One with an open mouth and one with a closed mouth. And the cool thing about it is it comes with a little display base where you can actually display the head that you're not currently using next to the piece, which is great. So, and it does also come with the clear resin lenses to put over the eyes to make it look that much more realistic. So this is going to be pretty expensive, around $450, maybe a little bit more. And it is still not quite ready to be put up for pre-order. But the sad thing about it is you have to contact Ibaraki-san himself and his studio to order these. There's no other way, as far as I know, to order them. But if you have a friend in Japan that maybe can help you out, that would be cool. Beautiful piece. Again, anybody could put these together because it's pins and magnets, and to me, game changer in the resin model kit industry. So there's that guy. And I'm still on the fence about him. As much as I want him so badly, he's going to have a really big footprint, even bigger than the 64, because from nose to tail, that's going to take up almost an entire shelf. So I don't know, man. I'm still I'm so torn between these releases that I have to really hunker down and pick the ones that are going to make the most impact in my collection.
Absolutely. All right, so we are coming into the home stretch of this Kaiju news that we are sharing with you guys. And since we're talking about, we mentioned earlier an American company, or let's say a North American company that's going to be producing that Aurora kit as a reissue. Let's talk about another American company really quickly, super fast. This is Mezco, which is a company that some people might be familiar with. I believe they may have done some Godzilla stuff in the past, but not very much. They are on my radar. They were on my radar because they made Hellboy figures, and I'm a big Hellboy fan. But they have gotten the license to do some Ultraman figures, and it's really kind of interesting. They're not just a standard action figure. They also come with some actual play features, like this adorable little not science turtle. What do you call that? Spacium beam. So Ultraman and Red King are going to be I'm not sure if they've got more coming out or if it's just these two. But basically, anytime American companies start releasing stuff like Ultraman or Godzilla stuff, I want to be able to cover that a little bit. So I'll have links in the show notes. We'll have links in the show notes to a lot of this stuff, but definitely an article where you can see these images and get a little more information about this Mezco set. And I'll move along to the next stuff as well, because, hey, why not just keep it? Yeah, they're cool.
Super cute.
Now, this next group of photos that I'm going to share is just one of the figures. There's actually 2 NECA figures that I want to talk about. I only have pictures of one, but basically, this Godzilla is the 1989. I think it's called the special effects version, and basically it looks like he's been spit up on by Biollante. And it's pretty cool that they're taking these figures and they're reissuing them. There's also a Godzilla 2002 or 2003 where he's got the gold lightning on him. Also very cool. And these are, again, from a company here in the States called NECA. And honestly, I've never really collected their stuff because when they started releasing their Godzilla figures, I was already into the hyper-realistic X Plus stuff. And if it wasn't that, it was the Japanese-produced SH Monster Arts figure. But NECA has been providing collectors, or especially new collectors, with a really incredible price point. Oh, look, David's got I'm guessing that's the 64.
He's really great. He's really good. He's very posable. And I was very impressed. I saw this actually at one of the last comic shops here in Seattle at Pike Place Market, right before the quarantine happened, and I think he was like $25, give or take. But I couldn't pass it up.
But the point that I was just going to make is that basically these figures are great entryways for new collectors. Yeah, look, Leslie's got the 62 up there. Yeah. They released an 84. There's been some contention about the actual sculpts. They haven't been super great, but that price point, $25 for a Godzilla figure, a highly articulated Godzilla figure. Yeah, John's got I feel like I'm the only one here without a NECA figure. But yeah, for what I was just going to say is basically these figures don't do anything for me, but they do something for collectors who aren't collectors yet, who walk into a Target and say, whoa, look at that Godzilla figure, and it's only $25. Now, the bummer is that aside from the fact that some of their sculpts have been a little off and haven't looked so great, NECA has lost the license to another company here in the States, Playmates, of all people. And, the deal is we're not going to cover the Playmates stuff. I do want to say that Playmates, not only are they releasing classic Godzilla figures, which I don't even want to show photos of because some of them look really bad, but the stuff that they're also doing, the reason they got the license is because Playmates wanted to make the Godzilla Kong figures. And so there have been lots of pictures of the new Playmates stuff that's coming out. And for me, I'm not going to buy that stuff anyway, because I don't need to buy that stuff. But the information's out there. Kaiju Battle has a lot of stuff on his website. Check it out there if you want to find out more about the Playmates stuff. Also, you can find out more about NECA and losing the license on Twitter and so forth. Now, oh my gosh, did I make it? I think I made it. The one thing I wanted to say, thank you very much. The one thing I wanted to say is that there is a Mandarake auction happening very soon. Right. Do David or John have your books available at hand?
Sadly, mine is in my reading room right now.
No worries. So basically, every so often, I don't know how often, Mandarake, which is a store in Japan, has an auction where they will take some of their best stuff and sort of pull it together instead of selling it directly on their website, and then they auction it off like a real auction. And they have a lot of cool stuff happening in this particular issue of the auction, the Zenbu auction. But basically, it starts soon, or if some of the pieces haven't already started, I think they're starting really quickly, really soon. So you can look through all the stuff they have. It's just like buying on Mandarake, apparently, but it's bidding. So I've never bid myself. Are you guys going to bid on anything, John or David?
No, the starting price like almost past what I would pay initially. So, and I know they're going to go way past those initial starting prices. So, I'm super stoked to actually have the book anyway, because it's a great resource. Mm-hmm. And you get to see a lot of the figures in their original packaging. Right. And John, I when I first was going through it, I know you're stoked because it has a lot of really cool vintage printed material that they're selling too, or auctioning off, I should say. But no, I'm not going to go down that road because, like I said, the starting price is pretty much at the top of my but it is cool.
The door is awesome, but that's way beyond $15,000 starting at.
Oh yeah. So it's hard to illustrate without having the images ready to go. But the auction. Okay, the auction itself is insane. Like they really did pull together a lot of like some of the best Godzilla collectibles that they have in their reserves, and some really just amazing pieces that you would not find elsewhere. You know, I will say the number one thing that has my eye is the not that I would buy it because I never would have the money for this, but the actual Ghidra 2001 and Baragon 2001, not the actual heads, but like I think casts of the actual heads from Fuyuki Shinada's studio in Japan on plaques, like big, so life-size Baragon 2001 head. So John has the catalog here in front of him. I'm going to make your screen bigger, John, so people can see some of the stuff we're talking about here. This is the catalog. Show how thick the catalog is for everybody, because these things are not, they're not something that's just like they're whiffing. Yeah, it's insane.
It's really great, and there's one thing I would want to have that Sakai model kit original image. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool printed stuff in there too, and it's just great to look at it. It's basically a cool resource.
The first 200 pages are like almost like Godzilla exclusively.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a fantastic time to have a lot of money and want to bid on stuff in Japan.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just gonna say we covered everything that we're gonna cover, and there's a lot more out there that we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about the SH Monster Arts Special Fancy 2019 version that's coming out, or the Mega House light up version Burning Godzilla that's coming out, or the Ultraman ring, or the Beta Capsule, or so really there's just so much stuff. Like, do yourself a favor, go to Michael Farah's website, and let me get that up for you guys again. It is kaijubattle.net, and literally awesome. he takes any collectible news and makes an article about it and posts it online. So if you're ever like, man, I know I saw a kaiju piece that's coming out, definitely check out Michael's website. Absolutely. Oh man, yes. You know what that means, gentlemen? It is time to finally hit our intermission. It's a 2-hour show up front.
Having fun, aren't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So David, did you wanted to ask the viewers if they had any questions for the next segment, right? Do you want to sort of talk about what we're going to do when we come back from the intermission?
Yes, indeed. So to go along with this episode, which has to deal with awesome releases coming out currently, we're going to talk about the Arrow Gamera box set, which is coming out next week, I believe. And we'll give you all the information on how and where to get it. But I am going to interview our fearless leader, Kyle, about his experience doing the commentary for Gamera 2. So if anybody has any questions pertaining to that and his experience, think about those in the intermission, and we will check the chat room, and we will hopefully Kyle can answer your questions.
Yes, and so the intermission's about almost 5 minutes long, so enjoy this while we let it take over the screen.
Join the X Plus Kaiju Collectors Facebook group and connect with other X Plus addicts. Get X Plus news quicker. Buy and sell X Plus vinyls. Ask questions or just lurk and see what's going on. Join the X Plus Kaiju Collectors Club Facebook group and get in touch with the world of X Plus.
The giant turtle Gamera, certainly one of the most controversial subjects of our time. Earlier in our program, you stated the belief that Gamera could in fact exist.
That decision was made by the Commander-in-Chief. I do know that if Gamera exists, our world is about to face a calamity of enormous proportions.
本日、江東区のいわゆる海抜0メートル地帯へ高潮が逆流し、
先ほど福岡港に海獣が出現しました。そんな生物がありえるの？
今回の敵は全くの異生物です。敵の生存を許すならば我々に未来はなく、我々が生き残るためには殲滅戦の覚悟を持って臨む以外ないと思います。
抜本的な解決策は存在するのか。
The destructive power of Gamera is beyond comprehension.
なお先ほど内閣総理大臣より自衛隊へ出動命令が出されました。
味方だと決めつけるのは危険だと考える。ガメラは味方です。もう打ち上げが始まるんじゃ。着弾まであと5、4、3。 追尾中。巨大レギオン回収防衛ライン突破します。発射。本当にガメラが最後の希望になってしまった。
So cool.
All right. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Gamera set from Arrow Video. Now, some people have mentioned throughout the episode, every time we talk about the set that's coming out, that the set is already out, you know, and I saw all those messages, but the set is out early for some people, and the street date, I believe, is next week or something like that. But basically, some people do already have the Gamera box set.
They do indeed. Now, I'm going to ask Leslie Chambers if you can sort of channel the questions for Kyle, because he shouldn't have to read and answer his own questions. So while we're going through this, you can just interrupt us periodically, and we can answer some questions if you're okay with that.
Cool.
So shall we just jump right on in, Kyle? You ready?
I am ready. Yeah, go ahead, man.
So we're all very proud of Kyle, and he's now joining the ranks of Steve Rifle, Ed Gadzichewski, and August Rigoni in these awesome commentaries for these films that we all grew up with. And Kyle is actually doing the commentary for one of two of my favorites in the Gamera series. My favorite is Gamera versus Barugon, the Showa version, and the second favorite is the Heisei Gamera 2, The Advent of Legion. So let's jump right in and ask Kyle, have you always been a fan of Gamera?
So I have always been a fan of Gamera. But I mean, when I say always, I mean, so since I came into the fandom, I discovered Gamera through Mystery Science Theater 3000 of all things. And as everybody has watched the show knows, like my history with giant monsters didn't really even start till I was a teenager.
That's true.
So I love the Mystery Science Theater thing, and it sort of helped me accept Gamera as a lovable, fun kids movie series, you know? And then when I was getting into the actual Godzilla fandom, and like around 1995, 1996, and I was getting issues of G-Fan magazine, that's when I found out about Gamera Guardian of the Universe. And whoa, like that movie blew me away. I completely love that film and the entire trilogy as well. And when the second movie came out and I finally got to see it here in the States, I thought it was so amazing that I was like, I got to profess my love for these movies online. And I created a website called the Shrine of Gamera. And yeah, so I've been a Gamera fan for a really long time. Anybody who knows me probably originally for a while. Like if they've known me since the beginning of my fandom days, they'll probably know me as the Shrine of Gamera guy.
Leslie, any questions that you would like to pose to Kyle from the chat room?
Actually, there hasn't been any questions involving the Gamera.
Okay, all right. Well, that's okay. I've got plenty more. I know you're a huge fan of the Heisei series. Name me your top 3 Showa Gamera films.
Oh, my top 3 Showa Gamera films.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I really like the kiddie ones, right? So honestly, my top one, just because I got to get it out of the way, is Gamera versus Giron. That movie to me is just so fun and so just like over the top that I just love it. You know, Gamera goes to space to save these kids, fights a giant knife-headed monster on this planet and wins. You know, Gamera versus Virus or Virus or Viras or however you want to say that, or Destroy All Planets, I believe is what it's also called. That one is another really great one, really fun, and some really cool stuff happening in it. And then I'd have to probably go for something a little more serious from the Showa era, but it's still a kiddie film, and that's Gamera versus Gauss. So those would be my top 3.
It's interesting. My choice would be, of course, the one without the children. I love Gamera versus Barugon because I think that's a very serious and kind of dark. I don't think I've ever seen a more terrible villain than Onodera. He was like the worst villain ever. He did so many terrible things in that movie, and he absolutely deserves what he gets. I won't tell you. You got to watch buy the films and watch it. It's not a good way to die. But anyway, I think that the Gamera versus Vidas is really fun, and I really enjoyed your interview with Carl Craig from Kaiju.
Thanks, man.
I had never heard him speak before. And I thought that was super cool. It was really great, and I would like to hear more. I thought that segment should have been a little bit longer. I wanted more. So maybe in the future we can get him to do some more comments on his experience doing that film.
Totally, yeah, that'd be awesome.
So cool. So my next question is, how did you get involved with Arrow, and how did you get this gig?
Great question, David. So first up, I have to thank Matt Frank from, he was working with Arrow Video. He reached out to me. So that's the short answer. But the long, interesting story is that I had wrapped up my last Kaiju Cast trip in Japan with the fan vaders, and they all went home. And then my wife, Lady Kyle, came out, and we spent our first anniversary in Tokyo. That's awesome. So one of our activities that I was like, we got to go do is we got to go have dinner with my friend Jamie and his family. And he lives way out in Funabashi, which is in the Chiba area, sort of like around the bay of Tokyo. So we're on the train, and I get this message from Matt Frank, and it says, "Hey, dude, can you chat right now?" And I was like, well, I'm on a train to Funabashi, so, and he goes, "Oh, I'll talk to you later." And I'm like, no, I can chat right now because everybody in Japan is using their phones on the train. They're just not talking; they're texting. So my wife is literally sitting down on the seat in front of me, and I've got my hand on the handrail above me, and I'm looking at my phone. And he says, "So I'm working with the guys who are doing the next Blu-ray release of Gamera. And would you be interested in doing a commentary for one of the Heisei movies?" And I was just like, I had my phone in my hand, and I think my eyes got like really big, and I just showed it to my wife, and I'm like, yes. And I immediately said yes, and that's how I got to work on the project. Basically, Matt Frank asked me, and I said, hell yes.
That's awesome, and being a Gamera fan from way back, couldn't have gone to a better person. And the interesting thing is that when we were in Sapporo, we were talking about, of course, you can't not be in Sapporo and talk about Gamera 2, and seeing some of the areas that looked a little bit different. I actually know, because it was snowing in the film for most of the movie too, so we kind of saw it the way it looked in the film, which was really interesting. That's awesome. That's so great. I'm so stoked for you, and so
Thanks,
happy
man.
to do that. So can you please describe the process you went through to do your commentary for the audience? That'd be great.
Okay, so the process for me building the content for my commentary. Let me get a little water here. So I love audio commentaries. Steve Reifel, Ed Godziszewski, they do great commentaries, but my two favorite commentators are David Callett.
Oh, right.
David Callett did the Monster Zero commentary, right? The one for Classic Media. And also he did both the Gojira and the Godzilla King of the Monsters commentaries for Criterion.
That's right.
If you have not heard David Callett's his commentaries, you have to seek those out, because they're what I consider to be the most entertaining of all of the kaiju commentators out there, and that's I can listen to that kind of stuff, but like my wife, she's like, whew, that stuff would just put me to sleep. But I love hearing those people's stories. None of these people were on the sets, really. We'll get into that a little bit, I'm sure. None of these people were able to sit down and talk with Ishiro Honda or, those kinds of connections can't happen in a fan-made commentary. You have to do your research.
That's true.
And so with knowing that I loved David Callett's style, and also the other commentators as well, like Steve Reifel and Stuart Galbraith, Ed Godziszewski, they bring so much great information into those commentaries.
That's true.
And that's sort of what I said to myself. I want to sort of be myself, but present as much entertaining information as I can to the people who are watching. And so I went about the process of research, which means reading articles, reading interviews, reading just about everything I could find based off of Gamera 2 Advent of Legion. Leslie, I gotta say, Giron should just chop Zegra's head off right there.
You need the space gauss to make it really very realistic. It's really cool that you got to do this, because those of us like John, and I know Leslie too, from a young age, we've been watching these movies, and we've seen them every which way you can. We've seen the dubbed, we've seen the widescreen, we've seen the international dub, we've seen the original widescreen. It's so great. For those of you who haven't done this yet, go back, listen to the commentary, and you get a whole new insight, because we know these movies inside out. We don't really need to hear what's going on, because we know intuitively what's happening. It's great to hear the commentary, and you learn so much about, the filmmaking process, and the joy of the commentators and how much they love the films too. So I highly recommend that you do it with all of your Godzilla films, and of course the Gamera set that's coming out, because it really is. It's not boring to me at all. I mean, you have to be in the mood for it, granted. But
right? Yeah.
It's really for those of us hardcore fans who have seen these movies a gazillion times. It's almost a no-brainer that the next step is to watch these commentaries, and I think it's just great that we get to do that. So you actually anticipated my next question, answered both at the same time, which was, how did you go about researching information for your commentary, which you already answered. So I've got one more question for you. Are there any other films you would like to work on in the future, or like your dream list of films you would love to do commentary for? I think I know the answer, but
yeah, I have a lot of answers to that. And actually, let me do in answer to your question, give a little background as well. If people are unaware, I used to do the Kaiju cast. So basically, the Kaiju cast had an offshoot where we recorded some commentaries, and we did a handful of them, and they were a lot of fun, but they involved a lot of beer. And so we would do a commentary every, 4 or 5 months or something like that for a little while. And it was pretty fun. We actually did a drunken commentary for the 1998 film, which was sort of a way for me to cathartically just say everything negative I wanted to say about that movie in one go. And I think it was actually cathartic because since then I've come to be like, do I need to hate on that movie that much? No, I don't. But basically, this is our setup. We would set up with the recorder in between everybody, and you would sit down, and you would put the movie on in the background, and you would sort of just talk throughout it. And if you really did your job, you would try and have an outline and say, well, first we're going to talk about this, then we'll talk about this. And so after a while, I actually was kind of I started to get a little bit embarrassed about the earlier commentaries that we did. We did one for GMK and King Kong versus Godzilla that, to be perfectly honest, no one should go listen to because it's unless they just want to feel like they're watching a movie with me. But there's so much more information that could have been shared about that. I'm actually a little embarrassed about how those lack that information. Then we did War of the Gargantuas, where I tried to make it even more informative. And our best one ever, in my opinion, was Godzilla versus Gigan. We did that one, and I feel like no one had done Gigan before as a commentary, and there just wasn't that much information about it. So I was really happy to put that commentary together, and I did a lot of work on that one as well. And it sort of made me realize that to make a commentary, it can't just be hanging out with me. You got to put some real information in there, especially in a movie like these Gamera movies, where there's information out there. People were writing articles, but not that many people were writing articles. And the people who were in those movies don't get a lot of exposure and recognition from the fanzines. I'm not saying there's no recognition. There are definitely interviews you can read. You can find them online. You can find them in old magazines, but it's just not nearly as much as the Godzilla series.
Right, of course. No, it's fantastic. It's really, really great. So you did actually have a little bit of experience and a little bit of what to expect when you did this, on a professional level, which is great. It was great training. And you said you're embarrassed. You just evolve. You just you get better, and you evolve.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to go back for those 2 movies specifically, and eventually I'm going to put together real commentaries. Yeah,
I would love to do that as a group, as us to do it. I think that would be fun. We could pick a movie for somewhere future down the line as a supplement to our show. I think that would be pretty fun because I've always wanted to do something like that myself. So how about this, Kyle? Can you share a little sneak peek of some of your commentary for the viewers?
Well, David, I would be more than happy to share a little sneak peek of my commentary. In fact, I've already queued up a section of that commentary for us to watch right now.
Well, isn't that perfect?
Oh, nice.
As Gamera is slowly making his way to the Legion Flower and lumbers by, please note that everything shot from the inside of the Jeep, and this right here, is a miniature. The Jeep in front, that's a miniature. The Jeep with the camera inside, that is a miniature. The buildings, the signage, the power lines, yes, all of it is miniature. Special effects director Shinji Higuchi placed his camera with the macro lens inside one of those miniature Jeeps to get that shot. This scene is just masterfully executed with some really nice intercutting to place you, the viewer, into the action.
Outstanding. There you go. And that's just a little taste of what you can expect when you guys get the set next Tuesday, someone said in the chat room, and watch Kyle's commentary for Gamera 2, The Advent of Legion. I know I will be there watching it. And there she is up there. She said to watch it too. So Kyle, I think this is a perfect time for you to tell people how and where they can purchase this set.
Okay, so we have heard stories that obviously the the set has sort of been released early in some markets. So this is it. It is big and thick. Originally, I would have said, oh, just order it from Arrow or Diabolic DVD. Like, that's where I got my Criterion set from. But apparently some of those sites are having some issues with having inventory, even though the set isn't supposed to be released until next week. So at this point, it's probably best just to get it through Amazon, but definitely check out your favorite web stores for that kind of thing, like Deep Discount DVD. I don't even know. I'm having trouble even thinking about it, but yeah, Right Stuff maybe. I don't know. I would look at Amazon, and I would keep checking back Diabolic DVD as well. It's a really big set. The manufacturer's suggested retail price on this is $149.99 in terms of British pounds, and that means it's $195.50 US dollars. So look for cheaper than that if you if you really haven't picked this up yet, if you haven't pre-ordered it yet. And not only does it come with the movies themselves, it also comes with a complete comic book collection. So like from Dark Horse's set of I should be making those noises as I pick this up. It is massive. Anyway, the Dark Horse comics are in here. Matt Frank's Gamera: The Last Hope, I think is what it's called, comic is in here. There's just a ton of information, tons of great stuff in here. And yeah, it is all 12 films, just about everything you could ask for. Not everything, of course. I saw someone, I think Kaiju Sommelier, asked if it's going to have the short from New York Comic Con in 2015, and I don't think that's in there. There are a couple of other things that I don't think are in there. Like, I don't think they put the Gamera secret videos in there. I'm not sure though, because I haven't even had the opportunity to go through this. It literally showed up the other day, and I was like, I had the ability to take the books out, look through them, and that was about it. I had to get back to prepping for this episode.
Oh, cool. That's so cool.
Congratulations.
Do you think they'll be available at like Best Buy, Walmart, or Target, or they're not going to be in those retail stores?
I'd say that I would definitely check them out for sure. I just don't know if they're going to be available off the top of my head.
Okay.
If you're on the fence about the purchase, though, I will put a link in the show notes to the Kaiju Conline panel that I did with Matt Frank and James Flower from Arrow Video from, again, the event Kaiju Conline last month. And you could check that out because he goes into the full reveal. Actually, James had the box and did the full box opening for us. So we got to see everything that was in the box during that event, which was pretty dope.
That's cool. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And again, many congratulations. You know, you well deserved, and you're well suited to do these kind of things. So hopefully there'll be more in the future.
Thank you. I did see someone ask, "Is it time to unload your Mill Creek Blu-ray set?" I don't see any reason to keep the Mill Creek stuff if you're gonna get the Arrow stuff, because there's so much extra stuff with the Arrow sets. But Michael from Kaiju Battle says yes to Target and Walmart. Those, by the way,
that's accessible to a lot of people across the country, and you know they can. I mean, I don't think people are physically going into the stores so much just yet, but they'll probably be available on their web stores.
Yep. All right. So, my babies, it has been a long episode. I think it's probably time for us to really wrap this up. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this, and then there will be an announcement, and then we'll wrap up the show. So it's time for our Monster Showcase hashtag.
Oh, hold on, Kyle, real quick. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. Yeah, there is something else, too.
There's one more thing. There is a cool exclusive figure from Kaiju Live, AJ Russo. And if I can just quickly tell you about it while Kyle gets some pictures ready to show.
Mm-hmm. You may.
This is a pretty cool thing. It's the first officially licensed Ro-Man from the classic robot monster film from 1953. It's totally a B movie, a movie that you love to hate or hate to love, whatever. But anyway you slice it, it's a pretty cool figure. Kaiju Live exclusive figure along with Hop Toys, HOP Toys. It's a translucent gray vinyl with gold and silver glitter. And it has interchangeable helmet, with a glow in the dark skull feature, and it would also has posable arms and some coiled antenna. The Roman figure measures 13 inches tall and will come with a poly bag and a full color header card. It's limited to 50 pieces only, so don't miss out. It's pretty cool. I'm so stoked that AJ, Frank, and Crystal got to do this, and bravo to you guys. And I hope you all, fans of 50s sci-fi B-movie horror, will grab one of these guys.
Okay, so before we get into the next section, actually, I guess we did have a couple of questions, and one of them about that commentary. Michael asked, when I do my commentary, how was I keeping it interesting and not just telling what's going on screen?
Good question.
Okay, so technically, I didn't do very much of the, here's what's happening on screen. I would use those as like my sort of gaps to bridge. I would bridge the gaps between my subject matter. Just as a very quick thing, I will say what I did is I focused on the people who made the movie. Shusuke Kaneko, the director, the screenwriter Kazunori Ito, the special effects director Shinji Higuchi, etc. I don't need to go into all of them, but basically I sort of wrote essays on several of those people, and I figured out where they could go in the movie, and then I had all sorts of other information that I wanted to put in there. So I was like, well, I think I could put this information right here is about that tower in Sapporo. So I have to have that right here because it's not going to be anywhere else, right? So I'd have all these markers. I showed it in the commentary panel that we did for Kaiju Con Line. Once again, check the show notes for a link to those. But basically, I use a program called Adobe Audition to put it all together, and it's a multi-track studio system. So there was like the top line of the top track had all of my recordings for all the actors that are in it that said like, oh, so-and-so, this person is so-and-so, and they were in this movie, and you may have seen them in this movie with so-and-so. And then the second one down, the second track down was for my essays, which was like, I wrote long essays about those people that made the movie, the big people that made the movie. And so I read those out in a sense. And it doesn't sound like a reading document, and it's natural. It sounds like me because I could write in my own voice. Hopefully I can write in my own voice, I should say. But and then the last one was like things that I had to put in between those to bridge the gaps and so forth. And there were things that I couldn't even do. I couldn't actually put all the information in that movie that I wanted. If you were to look at the entire waveform, there's really only like periods of 3 to 4 seconds of silence in the entire thing. From the beginning of the movie all the way to when the credits start rolling.
Wow.
It's pretty much me talking about that movie.
That's
fantastic.
Okay, so sorry. Let's see here. I thought I saw somebody else ask another question. Matthew Bazell asked this at the beginning. This is completely separate from what we're talking about, but basically he wants to know, how do you ensure that your collection doesn't leave too big of a footprint in your home and potentially create tension with your significant other asking for a friend? That is a good question. And for me, I'm very lucky, right? First up, my wife is very open to giant monsters. She likes kaiju movies. She loves Ultraman stuff. So she's never the kind of person to tell me not to buy something because I make smart choices. I don't buy too much stuff, right? According to me. I'm very lucky as well because I have a massive room here. This is my collection room. There's no need for my stuff to spill out into the other areas of the house. But the way that I feel about collecting and the way and displaying is I feel like you should display your collection. And if you can display all of your collection, you should. But if you can't display all of your collection, then I would probably cycle through those things and, say, well, I haven't had this guy on display in a while, and like swap that out, put something in a storage bin and put it back in a closet or an attic or a basement or what have you. That's my answer.
Excellent.
What do you think, Leslie?
I think really, I echo what you said because my wife, Sandra, gorgeous, beautiful wife. And, she, like your wife, she's very open to me being a collector, and she's a collector herself. So I'm good in that respect. But at the same time, you still need to be honest. and you still need to just be very forthright with what you're doing. Obviously, even though we love this show, we love talking about these collectibles. At the end of the day, you shouldn't sacrifice this to, you know, not pay a mortgage payment or a light bill payment or food or whatever. Take care of your priorities first, and then do you. But I also feel like, and I ain't trying to throw shade at anybody when I say this, I personally feel like when you have so much stuff that you have no choice but to put it like in bins, and you can't properly display your stuff, that should be an indication that maybe you should try to rein yourself in a little bit. And I mean, truth be told, you ain't got to get every single thing. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like, Kyle, if you can properly display your stuff, that's like a better way to go versus not having enough room to display everything, which may cause you to get more choosy and selective with your purchases. And I think you'll be a better collector in the long run versus you buying so much stuff you can't properly display it. You put it in bins and you wonder, why did I buy this? Like, don't do that. You see what I'm saying? But as far as like the whole tension with your wife or significant other, just be honest, rein yourself in a little bit, and just take care of your responsibilities and priorities first, and everything else should fall into place. What about you, David?
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty lucky, just like these two guys. My husband knows that this stuff brings me joy, and I wouldn't say encourages it, but he doesn't discourage it, because I don't go crazy. In this point in my collecting journey, I'm really being picky and choosy for what I bring in, and everything that I have, like probably the majority of all the stuff I have, is in one small room downstairs away from everything else. So that's never really an issue of infiltrating other parts of the house. However, recently he's been getting on my case about the empty boxes in the garage, and he's been tripping over them. So I got to get on my ass and clean up those boxes. That's the real issue in our household, is the bubble wrap and the boxes floating around in areas in the garage where he can't get to the car and stuff. But he knows that this stuff has brought me joy from the very beginning of our relationship, and we've been together 29 years. And I think the first year that we were together on my birthday, he bought me the Billiken wind-up tin brown Godzilla, which I thought was so cool. And then the next year, he went to Zaka in when it used to be in Manhattan on Broome Street, and he asked Toshiki what I'd been eyeing up because he knew that I came to the store. And Toshiki told him, and it happened to be the Meltdown Forever Godzilla, so the tagged one. So he did get me that, which is a really great piece. So, yeah, I mean, just definitely
sounds like a keeper, Dave.
Yeah, after 29 years, I think he loves Mothra. He really does like Mothra, and he loves going to Japan. And Kyle, he totally fits right in with Kyle and I when we do our geeky stuff. He's right there with us, having fun. Sometimes he does his own thing and he goes in a different direction, but for the most part, he's on board with all this stuff. And he loves Japan. He loves the culture. He loves the movies, and I can't wait to show him the Heisei Gamera series. He's never seen those. So I think we're going to do I'm going to sit his ass down and say, pay attention. We're going to watch all three of those in a row. And I think he's really going to enjoy it. He loves GMK, Sandra. He loves Godzilla X Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS. He likes those sort of like, you know, Millennium series ones because of the realism of them. He's definitely, one thing that is a bone of contention with me, he thinks Destroy All Monsters is boring. And he said, because I thought he would like it because Mothra's in it briefly, and he absolutely 100% cannot stand Frankenstein Conquers the World or War of the Gargantuas. Get those things off in the room. He hates them, and he also hates Toho Kong. He says, what is wrong with them? That thing is I know. But other than that stuff, he's totally on board. And I really have to rein myself in because, like I said, there's no room. This collection is full. I've got stuff on the floor. I really do have to sell a lot of stuff. But as far as any relationship issues, it's kind of a non-issue in our household, and I'm very lucky for that. How about you, John?
Oh, I'm single, so I don't have any issue. However, I do show restraint. I mean, I have a basement full of boxes of Ultraman, Gamera, Giant, Robo, all kinds of stuff. But I've decided just to collect Godzilla. I have a room that's overflowing, but I kind of like it like as it is. So otherwise, but I still show restraint. I like if it doesn't fit in here, it doesn't go anywhere because I stopped collecting for about 10 years. So I had a big gap, from 2004 to 2014, and I was in Japan for a long time and I didn't collect at all. I mean, I just like shut down. So now I'm filling in, but at the same time, I'm like, if it gets, certain things I just have to say no. And so I don't collect too much Ultraman outside of Godzilla just because it'll get unwieldy. And I don't like to display, I want all my Godzilla stuff together. I'm kind of sometimes a purist, like Ultraman over here, but I don't want it in the same space as Godzilla. It's just everything needs to be divided. But I have to keep my space, keep things confined in few rooms. Well, and that's about it.
That's cool. So someone asked us, Keith, like Matango. I don't know that he's seen it in its entirety. I think we need to sit down and watch that because I think he would enjoy that movie because that's like an episode of The Outer Limits or something. It's a little bit different. He does appreciate Ultraman, and I love like when he knows Balton for sure, and he knows Red King. He actually pointed out Red King the other day somewhere, and I'm like, I'm proud of you because he's not even red. He's not even red, and you knew his name. But no, he appreciates some of the Ultraman stuff, and he loves Garamon and Pigmon. Loves those two. Those are two of his favorites. So it's definitely a non-issue in our household. So
all right, so. Thank you guys for continuing to watch us and asking those questions. And thank you to everybody who has submitted photos for our next segment here. This is sort of the final large segment before we wrap up the episode. And I think I should probably be the one to say this month's hashtag was hashtag fans of Ultra. And if you're not aware of what that was, that's a reference to a Japanese clothing line or accessories line called Man of Ultra. It's like high end, like nice. You could wear Ultraman ties to business meetings and stuff like that. Anyway, so fans of Ultra, we launched that as our hashtag because specifically of Ultraman Day last month. And before I don't even need to say anything else really. We just need to get going and play our hashtag video. And please note the difference in the tune. I think you're going to love it, David.
Oh, cool. Oh, perfect.
If anybody knows any surf bands out there, we need more surf music, kaiju related surf music.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
So that music was from the Ukulele Ultraman CD, and that is actually the Science Patrol theme from that CD.
Yeah,
So perfect.
Hopefully, I won't get in trouble for using that.
I loved every minute of that. That was so great. Surf music always reminds me of model building and Monsters and Dinosaurs, because back in the 70s, I'd be in the garage listening to surf music like Rat Fink and, that Big Daddy Roth, and that whole like model building culture is ingrained in my brain to sort of be synonymous with monsters and model building. So yes, please, let's get some surf music.
Yeah, there's a band. Someone mentioned Daikaiju. I'm very familiar with Daikaiju. I've seen them twice actually live. They are a surf sort of I don't want to say psychedelic, but they are a weird surf band that is awesome. If you've not checked out Daikaiju, they just they have kaiju related music, but they don't have kaiju covers. They don't play like the Mothra theme as a surf song. That's the kind of stuff I'm kind of looking for.
Oh, I would love that.
But let's talk a little bit about our next hashtag, please, before we move on to our announcement. The next hashtag is Kaiju Fantasy Battles.
Yes.
Leslie Chambers. I believe this was your idea, correct?
Yes. So everybody, please put your creative hats on and get things going. I know maybe the popular thing to do is put Godzilla versus Gamera, but come on, let's do more than that. Maybe put Gigan against Mechagodzilla, Baragon versus Barugon, Legion against King Ghidorah, King Kong versus Gamera. Make it happen. You got it, so make it happen. Kaiju Fantasy Battles is going to be awesome.
I love it.
I can't wait to see what you guys come up with that. Thank you again to those who submitted their photos for Fans of Ultra. That was pretty awesome. Kaiju Sommelier, by the way, was like, oh, I forgot to submit a picture, but you actually must have grabbed one from the Gods and Monsters group for Doug Hardy. So he was in there. He was in there.
I think I took it upon myself to include a few pictures from the Gods and Monsters photography. If that wasn't okay, sorry, but
I'm sure he was happy about that. Good. Okay, so now it's time for a big announcement. The big announcement is not really that big, but I wanted to make sure we did it at the end of the show. Our next normal episode will be Saturday, September 12th. However, hang on. There you go. I made the banner. I might as well show it, right? Next normal episode, Saturday, September 12th. But we are going to have a sooner episode, actually. That's a normal episode, which includes a lot of prep work for me. We are going to be doing something much more laid back. We're going to be having a live stream chat on August 29th. That's Saturday, August 29th. Same channel, same time, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Collect All Monsters channel. And what we're going to be chatting about is purchasing kaiju toys in Japan. We've been wanting to talk about it for a long time, and it's one of those things where if we put an actual episode filled with helpful information, it would take us a lot of time to put that together. So what we're going to do is have a laid-back chat between ourselves and maybe a couple of other people that we invite to join us on this particular live stream discussion. And hey, if it's going to be a thing that looks like it's going to be fun to do and continue to do and not take up too much time, maybe we'll have 2 episodes per month and we'll be able to do a normal episode and then a just discussion episode. Sounds very similar to the Kaiju Cast, actually, now I'm thinking about it out loud. But yeah, please do join us on Saturday, August 29th. Sorry, I lost the banner. Saturday, August 29th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern for that chat. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it'll be great to see you guys show up. I think that's going to do it for us for this particular episode. It has been 2 hours and 45 minutes packed with awesomeness. Thank you to everybody who watched live, everybody who's still watching live. You guys are awesome.
You guys rock.
Mega thanks also to my co-hosts as well. It's always a pleasure to hang out with them. And as I go over to prepare our closing chant, which I'm just going to take care of this time, except for the last ending bit, I will say once again, we really appreciate everybody watching live. Really appreciate you guys and keeping up with us throughout the time in between episodes too. Please make sure to check out that hashtag. Join us at the end of the month for our discussion and on September 12th for our next episode. Until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite and collect all monsters!